Chapter 5:16. Ning Cheng, if you had enough cultivation resources, would you still participate in the Striking Order Starry Skies tryouts? Ruan Mingshu drank more than half a pot of wine, causing her face to turn slightly red. Her eyes sparkled with moisture, making her look even more beautiful. At this moment, she stared at Ning Cheng and did not even address him as senior apprentice brother Ning. Ning Cheng took a sip of wine and did not look at Ruan Mingshu's face. Instead, he pretended to look around Ruan Mingshu's room. This room was filled with the longing of a young girl, and even the color was pink. Not necessarily. Participating in the tryouts is also a form of experiential learning. I heard that there are many geniuses in the Striking Order Starry Skies. Exchanging moves with these geniuses would definitely help you improve. Ning Cheng put down the wine pot. Although this wine was a knockoff, it still made people feel a strong sense of parting. Ning Cheng, if I had a lot of cultivation resources, would you be willing to elope with me? Ruan Mingshu's words seemed to have come from the depths of the earth. Ning Cheng looked at Ruan Mingshu in surprise. Junior apprentice Sister Mingshu, if I'm not mistaken, you should not have taken a liking to a person like me, right? Why would you choose me to elope with you? Ning Cheng found that the people who drank none to depend on wine were somewhat similar. The current Ruan Mingshu and the previous Jing Wuming. Ruan Mingshu acted as if she did not hear Ning Cheng's words and looked at Ning Cheng with lonely eyes. Ning Cheng felt sure that her gaze was not on his face. After a long time, she muttered to herself, often apart, the heart does not abandon, distant stars, none to depend on. The first half of the sentence must be wrong. Often apart, the heart has long since abandoned. Ning Cheng understood that Ruan Mingshu eloped with him not because she really liked him, but because she had someone she liked. She wanted to elope to see that person. Unfortunately, her father wanted her to look for the perpetual moon lake. It seems that even if he agreed, Ruan Mingshu would not elope with him. Ning Cheng shook his head, slowly stood up and left Ruan Mingshu's room alone. Ruan Mingshu did not feel anything and continued muttering. After a while, she sobered up and looked at the empty seat across from her. She sighed and murmured, if only you could suddenly take me and elope with me. You are a good person, I'm not. The revolving Jade City had more than one arena, however, the most famous one right now was the Celestial Forest Arena. A Starry Skies wanderer had arrived at the 19th battle ring of this arena. Although this Starry Skies wanderer did not possess a celestial wheel, he had not suffered a single defeat in the past few days. Because of this, even individual celestial gatherer cultivators came to challenge the 19th battle ring, something that was rarely seen. Generally speaking, celestial gatherer cultivators cherished their feathers and rarely challenged celestial novice and celestial shatterer cultivators. This was because this kind of challenge not only required the approval of the arena master with a lower cultivation, but also required the payment of a higher cultivation to challenge a lower cultivation in star coins. It would be fine if he won, but it would be ugly if he lost. Moreover, most of those who came to the arena were here to temper themselves. Who would be willing to challenge someone with a lower cultivation? It was a thankless task. What made the 19th battle ring even more famous was that the celestial gatherer cultivator who came to challenge it ended up defeated here. Additionally, when the arena lord of Arena 19 made his move, there was a formidable will within it. Every one of the spectating cultivators benefited greatly from it. By now, the Celestial Forest Arena's 19th battle ring had become famous throughout almost half of the revolving Jade City. Every day, the audience tickets for the 19th battle ring were sold out. Not only that, there were also many additional standing tickets. Even so, more and more cultivators wanted to go to the 19th battle ring to watch the fights. Some people even started to queue up to buy tickets for the 19th battle ring. Similarly, some of the cultivators who wanted to enter the 19th battle ring also had to queue up. The cultivators who wanted to challenge the 19th battle ring had to accept the selection of the 19th battle ring's master. Even the Celestial Forest Arena's 3 undefeated battle rings, because of the new arena lord, the popularity of the 19th battle ring had also fallen. Ning Cheng felt very satisfied recently. He had gained a lot in the arena. He had seen a variety of spirit techniques, as well as a variety of fighting styles. Fighting in this place had allowed him to grow rapidly. Because of the power of the mysterious yellow formless, he could even operate his cultivation method and cultivate while fighting. This kind of fighting allowed his cultivation and strength to advance by leaps and bounds. Most of the opponents who came to challenge him were either celestial shatterer cultivators or celestial novice cultivators. However, even a celestial gatherer cultivator came. Although his strength was not as good as Gongshi Kuei and Kirk, it still could not compare to an iPhone. As such, Ning Cheng did not feel any pressure at all. The cultivators within the starry skies, even if they were on the same level, had a huge difference in strength. However, Ning Cheng tried not to pick a celestial gatherer cultivator. Even if he had a starry skies sea of consciousness, he did not want to take the risk. The celestial forest arena had approached him several times to sign a contract, but he had rejected them all. He could only stay in this battle ring for a month at most. After a month, he would leave. How could he sign a contract with the celestial forest arena? However, he did not hesitate to accept the cave allocated to him by the arena. Sometimes, after a fight, he would stay here and cultivate. In addition to this reason, there was another reason that made Ning Cheng feel embarrassed to go back. He had lost the Grade 4 Celestial River Array disc that he had borrowed from Wan Mingshu. The price of a Grade 4 Celestial River Array disc was not a small one or two. Ning Cheng did not know how to explain it to Wan Mingshu and could only delay it day by day. It was already the 11th day since Ning Cheng occupied the 19th battle ring. However, the people from the Celestial Forest Arena came to his residence before he went to the battle ring. At this time, Ning Cheng's cultivation had already reached the middle stage Celestial Novice realm. If he cultivated step by step, Ning Cheng felt sure that he could not progress so quickly. Cultivation progress was secondary, the most important thing was that his strength had grown a lot stronger compared to before. Ning Cheng knew the person who came. It was a steward of the Celestial Forest Arena, called Zheng Chuxiong. Dao friend wanderer, you don't have to go to the battle ring today. Zheng Chuxiong's first words on seeing Ning Cheng was to tell him not to go to the battle ring. This made Ning Cheng feel strange. If he went to the battle ring, the arena would definitely make a lot of money. Why would they stop him? Why? Steward Zheng. Zheng Chuxiong smiled and spoke to Ning Cheng, the Gale Arena's first champion is coming to our Celestial Forest Arena to challenge him. This match will cause a sensation throughout the revolving Jade City. You can rest for 2 days and then participate in this match. You will also become famous throughout the revolving Jade City because of this match, and even the entire Orchid Burrow Celestial River. Ning Cheng spoke up with a calm voice, I might even fall in this match and turn into ashes. Asking him to fight against a Celestial Gatherer powerhouse, unless his brain was damaged. Ordinary Celestial Gatherer cultivators were not even comparable to Celestial Shatterer cultivators. But facing a real Celestial Gatherer powerhouse, how could he fight? Would he die? Zheng Chuxiong showed an awkward smile, Dao friend wanderer, with your ability, you would never lose to that Suo Xiaoye. That fellow is just a madman with a simple mind. Moreover, as long as you win this match, you will have a blue coin that you can't even imagine. Ning Cheng sneered in his heart. How could a simple-minded person become the champion? He did not have any contract with the Celestial Forest Arena, as such, he really wanted to find a variety of people to challenge. However, risking his life to earn money for others, and even helping others count the money, was not something he was willing to do. Steward Zheng, the Celestial Forest Arena has many experts. Even the champions of the 1st, 12th and 15th battle rings are stronger than me, all of them are Celestial Gatherer powerhouses. Moreover, they have a contract with the Celestial Forest Arena, so why not let these powerhouses compete? What if you let a nobody like me do it? Ning Qing spoke in a calm tone. He believed that Xing Chuxiong could understand his words. The 3 battle rings he mentioned each had a single champion, which meant that they were the 3 most powerful champions of the Celestial Forest Arena. As for the contract, it was to remind Xing Chuxiong that he, Ning Qing, was free. If he did not want to compete, then he would leave. With your popularity in cultivation, you are the best candidate to represent our Celestial Forest Arena. Besides, do you really not want to compete? This time, the prize is 500 billion blue coins, which is equivalent to 5 billion green coins. With 5 billion green coins, you can buy countless good things in the striking order Starry Skies. Xing Chuxiong spoke carefully. He felt helpless in his heart. If the Celestial Forest Arena had someone with a Celestial Novice cultivation who could beat Suo Xiaoya, why would he come to Ning Qing to beg for his father's name? Ning Qing remained unmoved. 5 billion green coins was indeed a lot, but that was only for ordinary Celestial Scryer cultivators. For him, 5 billion green coins could not even afford a real Celestial River-class battleship. If you are willing to fight, I will allow you to raise any condition, as long as it is not too excessive, and my Celestial Forest Arena can fulfill it. Another voice interjected. Xing Chuxiong turned around and saw the newcomer before quickly bowing and speaking, Arena Master. The newcomer was the Celestial Forest Arena's Arena Master. Ning Qing also knew this person, so he quickly cupped his fists and spoke, Wanderer greets Arena Master. The newcomer nodded and spoke, what do you think of my proposal? Ning Qing hesitated for a moment before speaking in a slow voice, no matter what the conditions are, I only have a Celestial Novice cultivation. I will not fight against a Celestial Gatherer champion. I hope that Arena Master can understand. The Arena Master froze for a moment before laughing and speaking, who told you that the other party has a Celestial Gatherer cultivation? That person also has a Celestial Novice cultivation. If the Gale Arena uses a Celestial Gatherer champion to challenge my Celestial Forest Arena's Celestial Novice champion, it would mean that they would lose before the fight even started. Celestial Novice cultivation. Can a Celestial Novice cultivation become the first champion? Ning Qing asked in doubt. Who was he trying to deceive? The Arena Master finally understood that Ning Qing did not know anything about the first champion. He patiently explained, the lower the cultivation of an arena's champion, the more famous he becomes. The arena's main purpose is to make money. If someone with a top-notch cultivation becomes the champion, it would not make any sense. The arena's champion is a comprehensive evaluation of strength and cultivation. The lower your cultivation, the stronger you are, the more attractive you will be, and the higher your ranking will be. You should also understand why your 19th battle ring is so popular. It is because you can challenge people on a higher level, which is something that people want to see. The reason why the Gale Arena overshadows my Celestial Forest Arena is because they have a Celestial Novice powerhouse, Suo Xiaoya. Recently, you have become famous in the Celestial Forest Arena, which has stolen a lot of the Gale Arena's popularity. Therefore, people want to challenge you. Chapter 5:17. So that was the case. From the looks of it, in the arena, those with low cultivation and high strength would attract the most attention. He had said that he was just a Celestial Novice cultivator, and that most of the opponents he challenged were Celestial Shatterer cultivators. Moreover, there was only one Celestial Gatherer cultivator among them. How did his fame spread so quickly? The arena's champion rankings were based on their ability to challenge opponents on a higher level. Once you could skip levels, as long as you became the champion, you could then choose your opponent. If a Celestial Gatherer cultivator came to challenge you, you could either refuse or agree. Among the 3 most powerful champions of the Celestial Forest Arena, 2 of them were Celestial Gatherer cultivators, while the other was Celestial Shatterer cultivator. No wonder the Arena Master wanted him to fight. Using a Celestial Gatherer champion to fight against someone else's Celestial Novice champion, even if he won, it would not bring any glory, and not many people would come to watch. If that Suo Xiaoye really had a celestial novice cultivation, he would not have to worry too much. Even if the other party was a late-stage celestial novice cultivator, so what? Thinking of this, Ning Qing spoke up, if you have the wishful treasure light silk and the sky treasure silk, plus 5 billion green coins, I am willing to compete. For him, fighting against a celestial novice powerhouse was not something he feared. Now that he had some benefits, he could agree to it. As for whether he would become famous or not, he did not care about it at all. This appearance was not his real appearance. The arena master pondered for a moment before speaking, the sky treasure silk is too precious, and I do not have it. However, I can help you get the wishful treasure light silk. Ning Qing spoke up without hesitation, deal, I am willing to compete. But I want the wishful treasure light silk now. He did not want to compete, not only because he did not want to fight against a celestial gatherer powerhouse, but also because he did not want to be used by others. He did not want to risk his life to help others earn money. If the celestial forest arena could bring out the wishful treasure light silk, it would be a different story. As long as there was the wishful treasure light silk, his twin wings of the heavenly clouds would immediately upgrade to 4 rays of light, which was a life-saving measure for him. Okay, the wishful treasure light silk will be delivered tomorrow. You can rest for the next 2 days. In the next 2 days, we will promote this matter throughout the revolving Jade City. 2 days later, you and the Gale Arena's Suo Xiaoye will have a showdown at the Celestial Forest Arena. Dao friend Wanderer, this time, my Celestial Forest Arena will be relying on you. The arena master spoke in a straightforward manner. Owner, rest assured, as long as I get what I want, I will definitely go all out. Ning Qing saw the opportunity and expressed his determination. Now that there were benefits to be gained, he might as well risk his life. Ning Qing did not go out, rather he stayed in the immortal cave to temper his cultivation and spiritual consciousness. At the same time, he planned to retreat immediately after this battle. If he could kill Suo Xiaoye, he would definitely become famous. However, since he had already concealed his identity, becoming famous would not be a good thing for him. What Ning Qing didn't expect was that before the wishful treasure light paste arrived, someone else came to his cave. He also knew who this person was, Shi Yulan. Ning Qing opened the restrictions over the immortal cave and looked at Shi Yulan's tightly wrapped body, causing him to frown slightly. Even if Celestial River King Shang Mao temporarily left the revolving Jade City, he believed that Shi Yulan should not come out at this time. Seeing Ning Qing frowning, Shi Yulan quickly spoke up, Wanderer, you probably don't know me. My name is Shi Yulan, and I like watching your matches the most. Moreover, my senior apprentice sister has 2 enemies, which you helped me deal with. Today, I came to see you for something. It might be a bit presumptuous, but... So she came in as a fan. Ning Qing had to speak up, then please come in and have a seat. Did you come to see me for something? Ning Qing looked at the nervous Shi Yulan sitting across from him and asked with a smile. Shi Yulan truly felt nervous. She knew that Starry Skies Wanderers were free and unruly. For these Starry Skies Wanderers, women only had one role, to vent. Because of this, most Starry Skies Wanderers male cultivators had no respect for female cultivators. It's just that she worshipped this Starry Skies Wanderer too much. From this Starry Skies Wanderer, she understood many concepts that she couldn't comprehend even if she went into seclusion. Every time she watched a match, her cultivation would improve. It's just that during Ning Qing's matches, to avoid trouble, he never used his spiritual consciousness to sweep outside the battle ring. As such, he didn't know that she was watching the matches. Ning Qing's polite question stunned her for a moment. This Starry Skies Wanderer seemed a bit different. I heard that you are going to fight against Gale Arena's Suo Xiaoye, so I came here specifically to tell you not to fall for the Celestial Forest Arena's tricks. You can't agree to this fight. Shi Yulan felt Ning Qing's calmness, and her nervous mood calmed down a bit. Oh, why? I heard that Suo Xiaoye is just a celestial novice cultivator, why can't I agree? Ning Cheng asked in a calm voice. Ning Cheng's calmness made Shi Yulan's nervousness disappear completely. Dao friend wanderer, that Suo Xiaoye is extremely powerful. I heard that he killed more than one celestial gatherer cultivator. Moreover, I heard that his chess realm has reached a very profound level. Even celestial bridge cultivators sometimes cannot peek into his chess realm. His chess realm? Ning Cheng asked in doubt. Shi Yulan nodded affirmatively. Yes, his weapon is a chessboard with only 3 chess pieces on it. According to rumors, every time his cultivation improves, the number of chess pieces increases by a lot. According to some people, he has more than 3 chess pieces. Only a celestial gatherer cultivator can force him to use more chess pieces. By the way, I brought the crystal ball recording of his fight with a celestial shatterer powerhouse. Why did you help me? Ning Cheng looked at Shi Yulan and felt very puzzled in his heart. Even if he helped Lanya take revenge, Shi Yulan would not help him. If someone said that Shi Yulan recognized him, Ning Cheng would never believe it. A flawed middle-grade Dao artifact was still a middle-grade Dao artifact. If a puny celestial gatherer cultivator could see through the essence of this middle-grade Dao artifact, then this middle-grade Dao artifact was just too worthless. Shi Yulan's face turned red before she stood up and spoke, I don't know. I'm leaving. If you really want to fight, you have to be careful. Shi Yulan hurriedly walked out of the immortal cave, and Ning Cheng's grateful voice came from behind. She really did not know why she wanted to help this person. However, this Starry Skies wanderer's strength on the battle ring had truly shocked her. Moreover, that bearded Starry Skies aura gave off an illusory feeling. What she did not know was that her feeling was not wrong. Ning Cheng's appearance was illusory, and such a person did not exist at all. After Shi Yulan left, Ning Cheng immediately opened the crystal ball she brought with her. Suo Xiaoye's appearance appeared in front of Ning Cheng, which surprised Ning Cheng. He had initially thought that Suo Xiaoye would have the same appearance as his current appearance, a rough and unkempt man with a full beard. Because Tsing Chuxiong had said that Suo Xiaoye was a madman without any brains. But the truth was that Suo Xiaoye looked like a pretty boy who looked a bit thinner than him. He was a bit thin and sported short hair. However, when he spoke to his opponent with cupped fists, his expression looked extremely fierce. The crystal ball could not record celestial wheels, as such, Ning Cheng could not see Suo Xiaoye's cultivation from the crystal ball. Presumably, the celestial forest arena's arena master would not lie to him, which meant that he should have a celestial novice cultivation. Suo Xiaoye's opponent did not have a tall stature and was also a young cultivator. After the two people cupped their fists and spoke a few words, Suo Xiaoye immediately started. Ning Cheng saw that Suo Xiaoye brought out a weapon and found that it was indeed a chessboard with only 3 chess pieces on it. Suo Xiaoye's opponent's weapon was a pair of cross-shaped swords. After bringing out this pair of cross-shaped swords, the entire sky was filled with cross-shaped sword shadows. As soon as these cross-shaped sword shadows came out, Suo Xiaoye looked as if he was about to be submerged in these sword shadows. However, Suo Xiaoye's hand shook, and 2 chess pieces flew out. The 2 chess pieces quickly spun around the cross-shaped sword shadows and quickly formed a huge vortex. The vortex spun faster and faster, and in just a few breaths, it swallowed up the cross-shaped sword shadows. The cultivator wielding the cross-shaped swords immediately felt the shackles and hurriedly retreated in panic. However, a huge iron wall blocked his path, which was Suo Xiaoye's chessboard. The next moment, the only remaining chess piece turned into a giant mountain. This giant mountain fell down and directly smashed the cultivator wielding the cross-shaped swords into pieces. The entire battle ended in a clean and neat manner, without even the slightest pause. What a powerful fellow! Ning Cheng put away the crystal ball and took in a deep breath. This Suo Xiaoye's strength was beyond his imagination. Moreover, Ning Qing felt sure that Suo Qiaoye had only displayed less than half of his strength. However, Ning Qing could not see any intent realm from Suo Qiaoye's chessboard and chess pieces. Bright just resting pen. Lanya stared at Shi Yulan for a long time before speaking. Yulan, are you crazy? You often sneak out to the arena to watch the matches these days. But how can you go around asking people to buy Suo Qiaoye's crystal ball? Do you know how dangerous it is to do so? If Celestial River King Shang Mao found out about it, you would definitely die. Not only would you die, but Ning Cheng, who helped you, would also die. Shi Yulan grabbed Lanya's hand in embarrassment and shook it before speaking. I'm sorry, senior apprentice Sister Lan. I went to watch Wanderers matches these past few days, and my understanding of Intent Realm has indeed improved a lot. Besides, Celestial River King Shang Mao has already left the revolving Jade City. Why would he care about such a trivial matter? A trivial matter. You were once a woman taken away by him, and you call this a trivial matter? Lanya spoke up speechlessly. Shi Yulan spoke up with an ugly expression on her face. Senior apprentice Sister Lan, don't speak so harshly. It's true that I left with him. But I'm not his woman. I am me, and he is him. You're so beautiful and attractive that even I can't help but want to sleep with you. Do you think that Celestial River King Shang Mao will let you go? Don't lie to me. Lanya spoke up in an angry tone. Shi Yulan's expression turned even uglier. Although Celestial River King Shang Mao is despicable, he also has the pride of a Celestial River King. Moreover, he does not lack beautiful women. His women would automatically throw themselves into his arms. Do you think that he would take the initiative to ask a woman to sleep with him? Well, I'm wrong. I'll sleep with you for the night. Lanya, on seeing Shi Yulan truly angry, quickly comforted her. You should go and sleep with senior apprentice brother Ning for the night. I don't want it. Shi Yulan's anger came and went quickly. Lanya showed a smile and spoke in a calm tone. He and I are not the same kind of person. You and he are more compatible. Shi Yulan looked in the direction of the arena for a while before her eyes showed a trace of sadness. He and I are not the same kind of person. Senior apprentice Sister Lan, after this tryout, let's go wander the starry skies. Maybe, it would be good to be a starry skies wanderer. Chapter 518. What was the most lively thing in the revolving Jade City today? It was not an auction, nor was it the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's Genius tryouts, because it had not arrived yet. Rather, it was the fight between the two major arenas of the revolving Jade City. The challenger was Gale Arena's Suo Qiaoye, while the other was Wanderer, who had recently gained the limelight in the Celestial Forest Arena. That's right, these were two Celestial Novice Cultivators. If it were just a fight between two Celestial Novice Cultivators, then this match would not have anything to look forward to. Moreover, these two Celestial Novice Cultivators were not ordinary Celestial Novice Cultivators, and could even challenge those on a higher level. There were many Celestial Novice Cultivators who could challenge Celestial Shatterer Cultivators. However, Celestial Novice Cultivators who could challenge and kill Celestial Gatherer Cultivators were extremely rare. Moreover, the two people in today's duel were both Celestial Novice Powerhouses who had once killed a Celestial Gatherer Cultivator. One was a Wanderer who had just arrived from the Starry Sky, while the other was the Gale Arena's #1 Arena Lord. Any cultivator in the Starry Skies would have a deep understanding of how difficult it was to challenge someone of a higher realm. Even in cultivation, every level was an insurmountable gap, not to mention challenging a higher level with a lower level of cultivation. For a Celestial Novice Cultivator to jump ranks to challenge a Celestial Gatherer Powerhouse, it was not as simple as jumping ranks. This was related to attributes, domains, intents, divine abilities, and other factors. Apart from that, the most important requirement was to be a genius. If you're not a genius, it doesn't matter how many factors you have. Because of this, a celestial novice battle ring between two celestial gatherer cultivators attracted a lot of attention. It even attracted some celestial river-level cultivators to come and watch the fight. To the two dueling arenas, this battle wasn't just about the astral coins they were betting on. Rather, it involved the reputation of both dueling arenas. After the Celestial Forest Arena's steward Zheng accompanied Ning Cheng to the arena, Ning Cheng found that all the battle rings in the arena had turned into spectator seats, except for the 19th battle ring. However, Arena 19 had been enlarged, making it even more conspicuous. Regarding this battle, Ning Cheng did not think much about it. He had seen Suo Qiaoye in action and knew that he was an expert. However, he wasn't too bad. How many cultivators had a starry sky sea of consciousness? How many cultivators had a divine sense as powerful as his? He currently did not have a powerful spiritual consciousness cultivation method. If he had a powerful spiritual consciousness cultivation method, he would even think about whether spiritual consciousness could also be used for tangible attacks. Moreover, this was not the only thing he could rely on. After obtaining the wishful treasure light silk, Ning Cheng's twin wings of the heavenly clouds upgraded to 4 pairs of glowing lights. Previously, the speed of the 3 pairs of scintillating lights had already surprised him. Now that he had 4 pairs of scintillating lights, even if he was not a match for Suo Qiaoye, it would not be easy for the other party to kill him. Striking Order Starry Skies had many geniuses, and Suo Qiaoye might just be a small opponent in his long journey to the Starry Skies. If he couldn't even overcome this puny opponent, then he could forget about tearing apart the positional plane in the future. Moreover, he could forget about going to the most powerful place in the universe to meet elder brother Tsang Wei one day. Dao friend Wanderer, you don't have to worry. That Suo Qiaoye is not as terrifying as the rumors say. Seeing Ning Cheng looking around, Tsing Chuxiong thought that Ning Cheng was worried about Suo Qiaoye and tried to comfort him. Tsing Chuxiong guessed that Suo Qiaoye had concealed his abilities. However, his battles were always straightforward, far less elaborate than Ning Cheng's plans. Moreover, he guessed that Ning Cheng had also concealed some of his abilities. In contrast, he was more optimistic about Ning Cheng. Besides, even if the Celestial Forest Arena's Wanderer lost, the impact on the Celestial Forest Arena would not be as great as that of the Gale Arena. The Celestial Forest Arena had already reached an agreement. In case Ning Cheng lost, they would announce that Ning Cheng had never signed a contract with the arena, which would minimize the impact on the arena. After all, Wanderer had only come to the Celestial Forest Arena for 10 days, while the other party, Suo Qiaoye, had already been here for several years. However, on the other hand, in case the Gale Arena's Suo Qiaoye lost, it would completely ruin the reputation of the Gale Arena, while the reputation of the Celestial Forest Arena would soar. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a duel between two celestial novice powerhouses who can challenge those on a higher level. My Celestial Forest Arena's Wanderer and Gale Arena's Suo Qiaoye. The pretty female cultivator on the stage had not finished her words when a violent celestial essence force blasted her to the edge of the battle ring. Get out of the way, I'm here to fight, not to listen to your long-winded words. Wanderer, come on up, I don't have the patience to wait for you. As the pretty female cultivator was pushed to the edge of the battle ring, a rough voice sounded out. The voice sounded like a great bell, loud but not harsh. The cultivator who spoke was a thin young man with a weak stature. This young man was not only thin but also had fair skin. Most of the cultivators watching the fight knew who this person was. It was the Gale Arena's premier champion, Suo Qiaoye. Ning Cheng, on seeing Suo Qiaoye come on stage and calling out to him, stood up without any hurry and stepped onto the battle ring. The pretty female cultivator, who had been pushed back by Suo Qiaoye, on seeing the two main characters step onto the stage, also retreated. Are you Wanderer? It looks like you had a lot of gains in the starry skies, to think that you can even defeat a celestial gatherer cultivator. Suo Qiaoye looked at Ning Cheng and spoke with a flat tone, his voice as loud as ever. Ning Cheng replied with a slightly hoarse voice, that's right, I'm Wanderer. Hurry up, I don't have much time to waste with you. Although Ning Cheng spoke with an indifferent tone, he felt very cautious in his heart. Although Suo Qiaoye only had a single celestial will behind him, this celestial will shone brightly under the stimulation of his celestial essence. Just like a blinding rainbow, it gave off an astonishing imposing aura. Ha ha ha. Suo Qiaoye suddenly laughed. I've always been the one to say these words to my opponents. I never thought that someone would take the initiative to say these words to me today. Well, I'll fulfill your wish. After saying that, Suo Qiaoye brought out his chessboard, and 2 chess pieces shot towards Ning Cheng along with the sound of breaking through the air. Ning Cheng raised his hand and brought out the treasured thunder spear. Faint thunder light lingered in his hand, but he did not make a move. The moment the 2 chess pieces approached Ning Cheng, they separated from each other and started spinning rapidly. The speed at which the chess pieces spun grew faster and faster, until one could not even see their shadows. Only a faint ripple-like shape could be seen circling around them. Ning Cheng remained expressionless. After fighting in the battle ring for more than 10 days, he had seen all kinds of cultivators. Coupled with the fact that he had seen Suo Qiaoye's battle crystal ball before, he knew that the ripples formed by these 2 chess pieces represented his domain. This domain was not like Gongshi Kuei's yellow sand domain, however, it existed between tangible and intangible, making it extremely difficult to grasp. At the same time that Suo Qiaoye's chess piece domain blasted out, Ning Cheng's domain also extended out. Ning Cheng's domain was completely intangible. Half of his domain was built on top of his powerful starry sky sea of consciousness. Ever since he started cultivating, his spiritual consciousness had grown stronger compared to the average cultivator's spiritual consciousness. Later, when he entered the Tian continent from the Luk continent and experienced the heavenly astral turbulence, his spiritual consciousness grew even more powerful. Because of this, he could feel the embryonic form of a domain when he was in the sea-opening realm. Because of this, he had just advanced to the domain realm when his domain reached the grand circle. As soon as the 2 domains clashed, the surrounding space gave out bursts of ka-ka sounds, as if it was twisting and regrouping. Ning Cheng felt a bit relieved in his heart. Although this Suo Qiaoye was a good opponent, he should still be able to deal with him. However, he did not fully bring out his domain. In this kind of battle, it was necessary to hold back. A bit interesting. Suo Qiaoye felt Ning Cheng's powerful domain blocking his twin chess piece domain and suddenly smiled. He raised his hand slightly and shot out another chess piece. This seemed to be his usual routine. Ning Cheng ignored Suo Qiaoye and shot out the treasured thunder spear in his hand with a faint thunder shadow. Ka! An explosion suddenly erupted over the battle ring. The spectating cultivators were still feeling happy when they saw the 2 of them fighting without any hesitation. However, this thunderous explosion caused their eardrums to tremble. A powerful celestial essence backlash surged over, causing Ning Cheng to feel shocked. Even the celestial gatherer cultivator he had faced previously did not have such a powerful celestial essence. Fortunately, he had stayed in the arena for more than 10 days, allowing his celestial essence to soar. Otherwise, he would have spat out a mouthful of blood. Suo Qiaoye, on seeing Ning Cheng not showing any abnormalities, felt surprised. His celestial essence was so powerful that even a weaker celestial gatherer cultivator would find it difficult to resist. However, this puny celestial novice cultivator not only blocked it, but also came out unscathed. Sure enough, his reputation was not in vain. If this is all you have, then let's call it a day. Suo Qiaoye's voice had a powerful penetrative power. Although his words were directed at Ning Cheng, the entire arena heard them clearly. Another 3 chess pieces fell at the same time. 2 chess pieces, one from the left and one from the right, rushed into Suo Qiaoye's domain pattern. One and the other turned into 2 huge chess peaks that smashed down towards Ning Cheng's head with incredible speed. This move was simple and clear, but also very effective. Suo Xiaoye had used this move to kill countless powerhouses. Once he added 2 more chess pieces, his chess pattern domain would immediately double in strength. Even if the opponent's domain could resist it before, it would immediately collapse under the strengthening of his domain. At least until now, Suo Xiaoye had not seen anyone who could remain unscathed under his 4 chess piece domains. Suo Xiaoye's 4 chess piece domains directly locked onto everything in the surrounding space. As long as his domain bound and locked onto anything, they could only watch as his chess peaks came crashing down, smashing everything into a bloody pulp. Suo Xiaoye liked this direct and effective method. Every time he used this method to smash his opponent into a bloody pulp, it would give him a pleasant feeling in his heart. He had already taken Ning Qing seriously enough, so he immediately sent out 6 chess pieces. He had never met an opponent who could force him to send out 6 chess pieces at once. Today was the first time. It was not that he had to do this, but he did not want to drag things out with a celestial novice cultivator. If he dragged things out with a trivial celestial novice cultivator, he would feel that he would lose face. For him, other people's celestial novice cultivators were just trivial, only his celestial novice cultivation was the real deal. However, Suo Xiaoye immediately felt that something was wrong. His chess pattern domain, formed by his 4 chess pieces, did not cause his opponent to pause for even half a moment. Moreover, it did not even give him the slightest upper hand in the confrontation between the 2 domains. Chapter 519. Boom boom. 2 more explosive sounds erupted from the top of his head. Suo Xiaoye did not see Ning Qing being crushed into meat paste. He only saw a long spear flashing with lightning once again blocking the 2 mountain-like chess pieces. He had just realized that Ning Qing had not used his full strength when a fist blasted towards him. Or rather, a fist filled with intense axe intent filled with murderous intent shot towards him. Ning Qing also felt somewhat helpless. His 36 cosmic true devil axes had already been destroyed. Otherwise, with his current cultivation, he could have arranged an angry axe array formation. Suo Xiaoye felt extremely shocked. His opponent's domain was not any weaker than his, which already shocked him. But now, his opponent's celestial essence was not any weaker than his own. Not only did his opponent block the 2 chess pieces filled with celestial essence, but he also completely suppressed the chess rune domain of his 4 chess pieces. As the huge axe fist blasted out, the killing intent from the axe fist directly tore apart the surrounding space. Suo Xiaoye understood that his domain was at a disadvantage. He no longer wanted to kill Ning Qing as soon as possible and blasted out the chessboard in his hand. Clang! Ning Qing's fist shadow slammed into the huge chessboard, giving off a metallic sound. Suo Xiaoye flew back and spat out a mouthful of blood. Ning Qing secretly felt that Suo Xiaoye was still holding back at this moment. Otherwise, he would not have been able to block his punch in time. Ning Qing knew that he could not go all out, and he also did not want to go all out. Suo Xiaoye flew back while spitting out a mouthful of blood. In any case, he was clearly at a disadvantage. The entire Celestial Forest Arena's auditorium burst into screams. Clearly, everyone was excited to watch this fight. Very well, you are worthy of me going all out. Suo Xiaoye wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and the chessboard in his hand automatically flew up and flipped a few times over his head. Not waiting for Ning Qing to speak, the chessboard suddenly changed, and the complete chessboard suddenly poured down from the air like a sheet of mercury. This mercury quickly formed a distorted and irregular chessboard interface, and several chess pieces also fell onto the chessboard. These chess pieces quickly spread out in different positions. At this moment, Ning Qing felt that he was in the middle of a strange distorted array formation. Wrapped in this array formation, he only had a single thought in his mind, and that was to quickly get out of this place. Otherwise, he would become a chess piece and stay in this chessboard forever. At this moment, within the Celestial Forest Arena's auditorium, Ning Cheng was not the only one brought into the chessboard's intent field. It was just that Ning Cheng bore the brunt of it. Many of the spectators were affected by the mood of the chessboard, and they all felt a sense of crisis. Shi Yulan felt even more anxious. She was a celestial gatherer cultivator and was currently outside the chess realm. Therefore, she would not get sucked into this chess realm. Instead, she felt anxious for Ning Cheng. Suo Qiaoye had already put away the 4 chess pieces that formed the chess domain. Normally, Wanderer should have been able to relax, but Wanderer ended up sucked into the concept of chess, unable to extricate himself. If Ning Cheng were a bystander, he would have definitely activated his domain to bind Suo Qiaoye and then easily killed Suo Qiaoye. It's just that Ning Cheng was the one in the center of the game. Being sucked into this concept of chess, he only felt a deep sense of crisis. He just wanted to get out of it as soon as possible, but he did not know that he could fight back. The 6 chess pieces moved faster and faster, and soon the entire battle ring was filled with the shadows of the chess pieces, as well as the shadows of the chessboard. Ning Cheng and Suo Qiaoye could no longer be seen. The spectating cultivators knew that Suo Qiaoye had stimulated the chess realm to trap Wanderer. Wanderer was struggling, and the final outcome would depend on whether Wanderer could break free from this predicament or not. Ning Cheng was indeed trapped, and he was completely trapped within this chess array. It felt like if he tried to get out from any corner, he would be squeezed into pieces by this chess array. This was not just an array formation, but also a powerful killing intent from the chess pieces that was suppressing him, forcing him to yield and not try to resist. When Ning Cheng still had a qi-gathering cultivation, he had already come into contact with axe intents and spear intents. After that, his axe intents grew increasingly complete. When he came out of the Angry Axe Valley, coupled with Zhang Wei's help in refining the 36 cosmic true devil axes, his axe intents had become completely self-contained, forming a complete attack system. His spear intents also continued to improve, allowing him to have a much deeper understanding of concepts compared to the average person. At this time, Suo Qiaoye's chess intents were completely different from his axe intents and spear intents. However, it was mixed within the circulation array formation, making it difficult for him to extricate himself. This circulation array formation was not an ordinary low-level array formation, but an array formation close to celestial grade. It was only because the array flags of this array formation could not cover the entire chessboard and could not be upgraded. Immersed in this chess realm and chess array, Ning Cheng constantly tried to deduce his way out, constantly trying to figure out the positions of the chess pieces and the circulation array formation. At this moment, only a powerful attack could wake him up. This kind of powerful attack could kill him in one go. Suo Qiaoye could see Ning Cheng's current state, but unfortunately, he did not have the extra power to attack Ning Cheng. His mind was completely focused on his chess intent and the circulation array formation. He wanted to trap Ning Cheng to death. However, Ning Cheng's domain was too powerful, and he could not restrain Ning Cheng. Suo Qiaoye knew very well that once Ning Cheng broke free from his chess intent, he would definitely die. Fighting until now, he felt very depressed in his heart. If his cultivation was at the celestial Shatterer realm, he would have already killed Ning Cheng. He did not know what kind of monster Ning Cheng was, but his domain was so powerful that it caused him to tremble in fear. Because of Suo Qiaoye's anxious state, he crazily stimulated his chessboard and chess pieces. Concepts did not grow stronger by relying on madness. It was something that could only be sensed. Suo Qiaoye's madness caused a crack to appear in his chess intent. When Ning Cheng saw this crack, he immediately sobered up. He finally understood that he had fallen into the opponent's chess realm. He recalled the words that Shi Yulan had specifically told him before. It was rumored that Suo Qiaoye's chess realm had reached an extremely profound level. So this was what she was referring to, and it turned out to be true. At this moment, Ning Cheng felt somewhat grateful towards Shi Yulan. Because of Shi Yulan's reminder, he felt a little vigilant in his heart, which allowed him to quickly understand the opponent's chess realm. The moment he saw through Suo Qiaoya's chess realm, Ning Qing could break out and easily kill Suo Qiaoya. However, Ning Qing still did not move. He continued to perfect his array formations and concepts within this chess realm. During his fight with Suo Qiaoya, he did not use his full strength from the start. Spear intent, axe intent, fist intent, chess intent, everything in the universe, as long as one comprehended it to a certain level, could become a kind of concept. At this moment, Ning Qing had comprehended the axe intent in the Angry Axe Valley and the spear intent through the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Now that he was trapped in this chess intent, he suddenly sobered up. His spear intent and axe intent, at this moment, completely linked up and reached a new realm, clear connection. Ning Qing had learned about concepts in the true cultivation world. His spear intent should have been at the grand accomplishment realm before, but now that it had reached the clear connection realm, it meant that his spear intent's killing power could be casually controlled, and killing power could be casually manipulated. Boom! Something seemed to open up in Ning Qing's mind, and an even more powerful insight emerged in his mind. He raised his hand, and the treasured thunder spear trapped outside the chess realm by Suo Qiaoya's array formation fell into his hand. Then, with a light flick of his hand, the chess intent array that flowed like quicksilver instantly disintegrated. The treasured thunder spear in Ning Qing's hand landed in between Suo Qiaoya's eyebrows, but he did not move. At this moment, his mind no longer focused on Suo Qiaoya. His array formation directly broke through to rank 9 and then split apart. He faced a whole new world, a whole new world. That's right, at this moment, he had a glimpse of a celestial grade array formation and officially became a grade 1 celestial array master. Cold sweat oozed from Suo Qiaoya's forehead. A moment ago, he had the upper hand, but now, he had become a lamb that could be slaughtered at will. He did not dare to move. The treasured thunder spear had completely locked onto him, while the other party's domain controlled the surroundings. As long as he dared to move, the next moment, he would turn into a dead soul under the treasured thunder spear. I admit defeat. Suo Qiaoya spat out those 3 words with some difficulty. He still felt a little glad that Ning Qing did not kill him. Bursts of thunder erupted from the spectator stands, and Shi Yulan's excited voice even overshadowed the shouts around her. However, Ning Qing still did not move. The long spear in his hand still pointed toward Suo Qiaoya's eyebrows, without any intention of retreating. Suo Qiaoya's face turned ugly and even turned red. For him, this was an insult. The people from the Gale Arena also had ugly expressions. This was not only an insult to Suo Qiaoya, but also an insult to the Gale Arena. The Gale Arena took the initiative to issue a challenge, yet Suo Qiaoya admitted defeat. Moreover, the other party's long spear was still pointed at Suo Qiaoya. If this was not an insult, then what was? Only the Celestial Forest Arena's arena master and the many stewards smiled. The Celestial Forest Arena was destined to become famous throughout the revolving Jade City in the future. Ning Qing truly did not hear Suo Qiaoya's words. After his spear intent and array formation suddenly linked up, his consciousness also became clear. At this moment, he suddenly understood his shortcomings. Although his understanding of spear intent and axe intent had reached a very high level, he still could not form an attack system. His celestial river intent had also advanced to the purple level, yet he could only comprehend a single void flame mark. His domain was much more powerful compared to ordinary cultivators' domains. Moreover, he could not make good use of his domain to form a killer move. Although his array formations had already reached the celestial grade, he still could not turn his array formations into an effective means against the enemy. Even the maximal flame spiritual technique was not something that he had comprehended on his own, but something that elder brother Tsang Wei had given to him. At this moment, Ning Qing felt extremely sober. If he could comprehend all the things that he had comprehended and form a complete set of means against the enemy, how could he have fought against Suo Qiaoya for such a long time? or even forced into the opponent's chess domain. After Ning Cheng understood his shortcomings, he suddenly gave a long roar. This roar penetrated the entire celestial forest arena. He finally understood what he lacked. These 10 days in the arena, he had not lived in vain. Shi Yulan felt shocked in her heart. She unexpectedly felt a hint of familiarity from this long roar. I've already admitted defeat. What else do you want? Suo Qiaoye finally turned angry. Ning Cheng showed a slight smile and put away his treasured thunder spear. It did not matter to him whether he could kill Suo Qiaoye or not to mention that he was in a good mood at this moment. Seeing Ning Cheng put away his long spear, Suo Qiaoye felt slightly relieved and spoke up in a cold voice, although I lost, you also went all out. Next time, I will not give you this opportunity. Ning Cheng glanced at Suo Qiaoye and spoke in a calm voice, you're wrong. I didn't go all out. Chapter 520. Ning Cheng did not lie, he really did not use his full strength. Whether it was the maximal flame spirit technique or the everlasting blue thunder city, he didn't bring them out. Even his domain could not be fully displayed, not to mention using the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. His fight with Suo Qiaoye was not for the purpose of killing his opponent, but for the sake of fighting. It could be said that over the past 10 days in the celestial forest arena, Ning Cheng had never used his full strength. However, in today's fight against Suo Qiaoye, an opponent of the same rank, he had achieved his goal. Looking at Ning Cheng's back as he walked out of the battle ring, Suo Qiaoye felt a little stunned. Was that the truth or a lie? This was definitely a lie. A celestial novice cultivator could defeat him, yet this fellow said that he did not use his full strength. How could he believe it? Congratulations, Wanderer. Zheng Chuxiong was so excited that his face was flushed. We're having a congratulatory banquet tonight, and you'll be the star of it. After tonight, you will become famous throughout the revolving Jade City. Ning Cheng showed a smile and spoke, many thanks, Steward Zheng. I want to go back and rest. Also, I want to get my 5 billion green coins. Naturally, the arena head will personally deliver it to you in the evening. Zheng Chuxiong quickly spoke up, he was now very polite towards Ning Cheng. The arena master had already told him that no matter what, he had to sign a contract with Wanderer in front of him and let Wanderer become the Celestial Forest Arena's first arena master. Ning Cheng shook his head and spoke, I'm sorry, Steward Zheng. I want to buy something right now, but I don't have any green coins on me. So, I want the money now. Zheng Chuxiong did not think that Ning Cheng's words were unpleasant to hear, he was well aware of the personality of the person in front of him, and knew that he would soon get his hands on the things he wanted. It was the same for the wishful treasure light silk. The pavilion master had given it to him the next day. Apart from that, there was nothing else that could be said about it. His attacks were clean and efficient, and the battle scene was incomparably exciting. Just as he was about to explain, the owner's smiling voice sounded. That's what I should do. While speaking, the arena master handed over a green coin card to Ning Cheng, which contained an unmarked 5 billion green coins. Thank you, master. Ning Cheng gave a deep bow and cupped his fists. He had already obtained the spoils of war. As for going to the banquet in the evening and making a name for himself in the revolving Jade City, he could just forget about it. At least in the near future, wanderers would not appear in the revolving Jade City. Yulan, when Wanderer defeated Suo Qiaoye, you were the one who shouted the loudest. Why are you so quiet now? After returning to the bright Gist resting pen, Lanya found that Shi Yulan seemed to have become a lot quieter and asked in doubt. I don't know if senior apprentice brother Ning has come out of seclusion or not. It has been more than 10 days, and there are only 10 days left before the Orchid Burrow Celestial River Celestial Scryer Genius selection date. Shi Yulan did not answer the question. Lanya showed a smile, isn't it simple? Let's go and have a look. Ning Cheng had just returned to his room and tidied himself up when Jing Wuming came looking for him. Ning Cheng opened the restriction and let Jing Wuming in. "Xiao Cheng, did you come out of seclusion?" Jing Wuming, on seeing Ning Cheng take the initiative to open the restriction, spoke up with joy. "Come in, I just came out of seclusion." Ning Cheng knew that Jing Wuming, Lanya and Shi Yulan had all gone to see his fight with Suo Xiaoya. Jing Wuming no longer had the depression from before and quickly spoke up to Ning Cheng. "Xiao Cheng, did you know? The two fellows who framed senior apprentice sister Lanya and even injured me were killed by a Starry Skies wanderer who had just arrived in the revolving Jade City. That wanderer only has a celestial novice cultivation, yet he could kill a celestial gatherer cultivator." Ning Cheng showed a smile. "That's a good thing." He had wanted to tell Jing Wuming that wanderer was his. However, Jing Wuming was not a shrewd person. If he leaked it out, it would not bring him much benefits. After all, this was the revolving Jade City. Besides, it did not matter much if he told Jing Wuming about it later. Gongshi Kuei only had a celestial shatterer cultivation, yet Jing Wuming thought that Gongshi Kuei had a celestial gatherer cultivation. One more thing. Wanderer represented the Celestial Forest Arena today and accepted the challenge of the Gale Arena's premier champion, Suo Xiaoya. Moreover, he even defeated Suo Xiaoya. That wanderer is just too powerful. I heard that his domain and spear intent have reached a very profound level. Jing Wuming told Ning Cheng in amazement. Ning Cheng asked in doubt, "Didn't you go to see it?" Jing Wuming showed a bitter smile. "I went to see it, but my cultivation is too low. I could only see that wanderer's spear intent was very powerful. However, I couldn't see it with his domain." That's what others said. "Junior apprentice sister Yulan, senior apprentice sister Lan, come in." Ning Cheng once again opened the restriction and let Shi Yulan and Lanya in. Lanya, on seeing Ning Cheng, also spoke up happily. "Ning Cheng, you finally came out of seclusion. It's a pity. If you had come out earlier, you could have come with us to see the match between Wanderer and Suo Xiaoya. It would have been a wonderful match. Senior apprentice sister Lan, senior apprentice sister Yulan." Jing Wuming could now calmly greet Shi Yulan without any abnormalities on his face. Shi Yulan also greeted Jing Wuming with a calm face. As for what these two were thinking, only the heavens knew. It really is a pity. I just heard Wuming say that the Orchid Burrow Celestial Rivers tryouts are about to begin. The Orchid Burrow Celestial Rivers tryouts are about to begin, so we have to prepare for it. After Ning Cheng finished, he took out 3 billion green coins and gave 1 billion to each of them before speaking. "These green coins, everyone can use them to buy some necessary things, just in case." Jing Wuming did not care about it. If he had green coins, he would have given them to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng now had green coins, so it was normal for him to take them out. Lanya and Shi Yulan felt a little embarrassed to accept the green coins. They had already received enough help from Ning Cheng. Moreover, in the revolving Jade City, 1 billion green coins was not a small amount, which could be used to buy a lot of useful things. Take it. Participating in the selections has all kinds of dangers, which we have to face on our own. It's better to buy some useful things than to wait for death. Besides, if we can go to the Time Wilderness, there would definitely be a lot of good things inside. In the future, when everyone has good things, don't forget about me. Besides, I won these green coins in the Ocean Gambling City. Ning Cheng's words made Lanya and Shi Yulan laugh and also took the 1 billion green coins. Ning Cheng then took out a few communications pearls and handed them to the four of them before speaking. "These are communications pearls. Each of us has one. If we encounter any danger, just activate the communications pearls. As long as we are within a certain distance, we would be able to sense it." Shi Yulan spoke up with some worry, "But I don't think I can pass the Orchid Burrow Celestial River selections. I don't think I can enter the Time Wilderness." Ning Cheng waved his hand. "Don't worry. We still don't know what the Orchid Burrow Celestial River selections are. Also, I suggest that everyone not go out of the bright gist resting pen in the future. The revolving Jade City is not a safe place. Wait, Yuan Mingshu is here. Among the 4 people, Ning Cheng had the lowest cultivation. However, Ning Cheng had now become the core of everyone. It seemed to have formed naturally, without any abrupt change. Ning Cheng had told everyone not to go out for no reason. Since the white-robed youth in the heaven-seated realm had left a mark on his body, he had become very careful. Ning Cheng opened the restriction, and Yuan Mingshu, on seeing Ning Cheng's group of 4, showed a smile and spoke, "Everyone is here, can I come in and sit down?" Naturally, junior apprentice sister Mingshu, please come in. Lanya was the first to stand up and speak. She was older than Yuan Mingshu, but her cultivation was also at the celestial gatherer realm like Yuan Mingshu. Besides, Yuan Mingshu addressed Ning Cheng as senior apprentice brother, while Ning Cheng addressed her as senior apprentice sister. As such, it was normal for her to address Yuan Mingshu as junior apprentice sister. After Yuan Mingshu greeted the few of them, she sat down and spoke, "I just learned about the Orchid Burrow Celestial River selection method, so I came to tell everyone about it." Hearing about the Orchid Burrow Celestial River selection method, Ning Cheng and the others listened attentively. Yuan Mingshu continued, "The Orchid Burrow Celestial River has more than 1,000,000 celestial scryer cultivators participating in the selection. However, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River only selects about 10,000 people. One can say that only 1 out of 100 people would be selected. Therefore, the chances of being selected are not high." Lanya and Shi Yulan glanced at each other with worried expressions. This selection is based on the strength of one's celestial essence and spiritual consciousness. At the same time, there is also a selection based on one's perception. Can we form a team? Ning Cheng interrupted Yuan Mingshu's words. Yuan Mingshu shook her head, "It shouldn't be possible. If the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King can't even consider this, then this Celestial River King is just too weak." While Ning Cheng and the others discussed the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's tryouts, the Celestial Forest Arena felt a little anxious. The reason was that the Celestial Forest Arena had just defeated the Gale Arena's champion, Wanderer, had disappeared. Not only could he not be found in his residence, but he had also disappeared without a trace from the revolving Jade City. After Wanderer defeated Suo Xiaoye, he took away 5 billion green coins and disappeared without a trace. The Celestial Forest Arena's banquet, without the protagonist, had turned into a joke. However, compared to the Gale Arena, the Celestial Forest Arena was still the winner. Would Wanderer be secretly? Sing Chuxiong made a gesture in front of the arena master. The Celestial Forest Arena's arena master shook his head, "It shouldn't be. This Wanderer is not simple. Don't look at his rough appearance, however, he knows when to advance and retreat. At the same time, he is also very sophisticated. It should be that he knows when to stop." Knowing that my Celestial Forest Arena wanted to force him to sign a contract, he took the initiative to leave the revolving Jade City. Just now, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King also sent someone over, saying that he wanted to see Wanderer. How should we answer him? Sing Chuxiong asked in a depressed tone. Just tell the truth. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King will know that we did not lie to him. No matter how lively or how dull the other things were, facing the Manluan Starry Skies Celestial Scryer Genius tryouts, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River Division, none of it mattered. Countless cultivators waiting anxiously in the revolving Jade City finally welcomed the Orchid Burrow Celestial River Division. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King attached great importance to this tryouts. Not only did he personally host it, but his most favored imperial concubine Xian Yu also accompanied him. When Ning Cheng and the others arrived at the Orchid Burrow Public Square, nearly 10 million people had gathered here. Even so, the public square did not seem crowded. Oh. Chapter 521. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King had an average appearance, with a big nose and small eyes. However, the ribbon of a Celestial River King tied around his head gave him a bit of an imposing aura. Compared to the average-looking Celestial River King, the woman beside him surprised Ning Cheng. That beautiful woman should be Imperial Concubine Xian Yu, right? No wonder this place is called the Revolving Jade City. Ning Cheng whispered. This woman was so beautiful that it made sense for the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King to dote on her. The beauty of Imperial Concubine Xian Yu and Shi Yulan were completely different. One was like a flower bud that had not yet bloomed, while the other was a dazzling rose that had already bloomed. Keep your voice down. Don't talk casually in this place. Shi Yulan quickly spoke up. She had seen a Celestial River King before and knew the terror of a Celestial River King. Even if they whispered here, it might reach the ears of the Orchid Burrow King. Ning Cheng just smiled and did not continue to speak. Since his words were muffled, even if the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King was a heaven-seated cultivator, he would not be able to hear his voice. However, Shi Yulan's words might have been overheard. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, along with his beautiful concubine, landed on the main altar of the Orchid Burrow public square and swept out with his spiritual consciousness. When the spiritual consciousness swept past Ning Cheng felt a chill run down his spine. It felt as if he was standing naked in front of someone else's eyes. Ning Cheng knew that it was just an illusion, but it also showed the terror of this Celestial River King. Moreover, this was just an ordinary Celestial River King. If it were a powerful Celestial River King, he could not imagine how powerful he would be. When the public square turned silent, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King spoke up with a clear voice, "I am very happy today. The people here today are the elites of my Orchid Burrow Celestial River. In the future, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River will belong to you, and the Striking Order Starry Skies will also have your shadows. I hope that in the future, outside of the Striking Order Starry Skies, there will be powerhouses saying that they came from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River. It would be the happiest thing for me. The reason why the Striking Order Starry Skies hosts the Celestial Scryer Genius Tryouts is to rush out of our starry skies and into the vast universe. My Orchid Burrow Celestial River has many geniuses, and the ones selected to participate in the Orchid Burrow Celestial River Division's selections number 1.06 million Celestial Scryer Realm Geniuses. I can't wait for all these geniuses to enter the Time Wilderness. However, the Striking Order Starry Skies has too many celestial rivers, not just our Orchid Burrow Celestial River. Our Orchid Burrow Celestial River can only select 10,000 geniuses from the more than 1 million geniuses to enter the Time Wilderness." Everyone understood what it meant for a Starry Skies decorator to enter the Time Wilderness. That means that you can go further in the future and rush higher. The thunderous cheers indicated that the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King still had a certain level of support. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King showed a smile, raised his hand, and continued, "Because there are too many geniuses participating in the tournament, we will use a one-off method to decide the winner in one day." Ning Cheng already knew the method of selection, but he still paid attention to it. If possible, he also wanted to help the Jing Wuming trio. As for Wan Mingshu, he was sure that she would be able to pass the selection, so there was no need for him to worry about her. Completing the selection of 1 million cultivators in a single day was indeed very fast. Many people already know that this selection will be conducted through the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's 9-step profound array. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River's Grand Array was established by the Striking Order Starry Skies Premier Mysterious Array Grandmaster, Xian Mingzi. It is fair and just for all of us. The 10,000 geniuses who can walk the furthest in our Orchid Burrow Celestial River's 9-step profound array will represent the Orchid Burrow Celestial River to head to the Striking Order Starry Skies. While the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King spoke from the stage, some whispers had already broken out. Ning Cheng had never seen an obscure array before, however, he had heard from Wan Mingshu that there were some differences between obscure arrays and array formations. To pass through the obscure arrays, one did not mainly rely on one's attainments in array formations, but on one's celestial essence, spiritual consciousness, perception, and the ability to calculate and combine them. It was somewhat similar to the gambling arrays in casinos, which were a branch of the obscure arrays. The ranks of the obscure arrays were uncertain, but the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's 9-step profound array meant that this obscure array had 9 gates. Each gate was related to a cultivator's celestial essence, spiritual consciousness, and perception. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River's obscure array's entrance and exit have already been set up on the Orchid Burrow Public Square. The results of the participating geniuses will also be displayed on the Orchid Burrow Public Square's array formation display. The tournament will now begin. After the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King finished, he immediately flew up from the high altar with his concubine and landed on the main viewing platform. A moment later, the main altar he had just stood on automatically caved in, and a huge transfer array entrance appeared. A long-bearded old man appeared next to this array entrance, took out a jade pillar and erected it before speaking, "All the cultivators participating in the selection, please take out your identity jade card and hang it on your chest before entering the transfer array entrance. If you are not a participant, please do not enter. Otherwise, you will be directly blocked and killed on the spot." After the old man finished speaking, he quickly stood to one side. Many of the participating cultivators hung their identity jade cards on their chests and walked into the transfer array entrance. The 10 blank array formation screens in the middle of the Orchid Burrow Grand Public Square also quickly showed some names. Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, let's go in together. We can look after each other. Ruan Mingshu walked to Ning Cheng's side and whispered. Ning Cheng took out the jade card and hung it on his chest before asking, "Junior Apprentice Sister Mingshu, are you sure you can enter the top 10,000? Ruan Mingshu nodded, "I've entered the obscure array before, so I'm sure I can enter the top 10,000. How about this, you go in first, I'll discuss it with a few friends." Ning Cheng rejected Ruan Mingshu's proposal. Ruan Mingshu looked at Jing Wuming, Lanya and the others before speaking up with some disappointment, "Okay, then I'll go in first. Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, no matter what, you must pass through this selection." Although Ruan Mingshu's words did not contain any threat, Ning Cheng still felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. It was a disguised message to him that he and the Ruan clan were cooperating, and that he should not fail the selection because of others. After Ruan Mingshu left, Ning Cheng turned to the Lanya trio and asked, "Are you sure about it?" Jing Wuming hesitated for a moment before speaking, "I'm not sure about it, but I still have some confidence." Lanya also nodded, "I'm the same as Wuming, I'm not sure about it. We have to go in and see for ourselves before we know anything. However, I believe that we still have a chance to pass." Shi Yulan remained silent until Ning Cheng looked at her. She then spoke up, "I'm not sure about it." Ning Cheng pondered for a moment before speaking up through sound transmission, "Let's do it this way. I'll be in a group with Shi Yulan, while Wuming and Senior Apprentice Sister Lan will be in another group. We'll go in first. Wuming, you and Senior Apprentice Sister Lan will follow me closely. Whether we succeed or not, let's give it a try first. Remember, don't move after going in. If you don't receive my message, it means that you cannot cheat in this obscure array, and everyone can only rely on their luck to break through. If you can receive my message, then don't worry about it." "Okay." Jing Wuming and the other two responded at the same time, agreeing with Ning Cheng's statement. If the four of them went in together, then they would be able to look after each other. The Orchid Burrow Public Square's transfer array entrance was massive. Even if hundreds of people entered side by side, it would not feel crowded. More than 1 million participants quickly poured into the array entrance, and soon half of them had entered. Ning Cheng and Shi Yulan lined up side by side in front, while Jing Wuming and Lanya followed closely behind Ning Cheng and Shi Yulan as they entered the transfer array entrance. As soon as they stepped into the transfer array entrance, Ning Cheng felt his body turn empty, and a moment later, he landed on the ground. Ning Cheng looked at the surrounding scene. It was a spacious hall, and in front of him was a wall more than 10 meters away. The wall and the floor of the hall were covered with some mysterious patterns. He was the only person in the entire hall, and no one else could be seen. Not to mention Jing Wuming and Lanya, even Shi Yulan, who came in with him, could not see him. Although the hall in front of him did not have an exit, Ning Cheng was not in a hurry. Since it was an obscure array, then he would have to choose his own exit. He carefully extended his spiritual consciousness out, but when his spiritual consciousness touched the wall of the hall, it immediately blocked. Ning Cheng did not take it back just because it blocked his spiritual consciousness. He had tried many times and found that his spiritual consciousness could penetrate some of the array formations that shielded spiritual consciousness, or even the natural restrictions that restricted spiritual consciousness. He had already verified this when he obtained the fire origin bead. Sure enough, when Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness forcibly penetrated the wall, his spiritual consciousness slowly penetrated through the wall. He then saw a frowning Shi Yulan, as well as Jing Wuming and Lanya on the other side. In addition to that, he also saw some other participating cultivators. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh. The starry sky's sea of consciousness truly was powerful, and he felt sure that there was no one else like him. This rank 9 obscure array should also be a huge spatial treasure. Moreover, it contained so much space within it. Shi Yulan stood in the middle of the hall in a daze. Her spiritual consciousness could only wander around the hall, so how could she receive Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness message? Moreover, this was only the first level, yet she did not know how to deal with it. What should she do next? At this moment, she felt Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness message. Don't worry, you can pass the first level by calculating and using celestial essence. From here to the wall of the hall, there is a layer of celestial essence resistance in the middle. You must not retreat. Once you retreat, you will immediately be sent out. Moreover, there is also a pattern under your feet. As for the specific landing position, you will need to calculate it through the patterns in the hall. If you make a mistake, you will also be sent out. You should be able to pass this first level. However, if you can't pass it, don't rush to leave. Just stay where you are. Shi Yulan felt pleasantly surprised. She did not think that Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could penetrate through the hall and reach her. It was just too powerful. At the same time that Shi Yulan received Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness message, Jing Wuming and Lanya also received the same spiritual consciousness message. Did Ning Cheng have the lowest cultivation? How could he have such a powerful spiritual consciousness? Or did he have a special cultivation method? In any case, Ning Cheng's strength was a good thing for them. The few of them immediately followed Ning Cheng's instructions and tried to break through the first level. What Ning Cheng did not expect was that when he used his spiritual consciousness to pass the message to the Shi Yulan trio, Imperial concubine Xianyu, who stood next to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, suddenly frowned and her eyes fell on the transfer array entrance in the middle of the Orchid Burrow public square. Chapter 522. Ning Cheng had already checked it and found that the first level only involved celestial essence resistance and simple calculations. This kind of calculation was too simple for him. Through the patterns on the ground of the main hall, he could calculate the correct landing position based on the permutations. When landing, there would be a strong celestial essence resistance. However, this celestial essence resistance was not a problem for an ordinary celestial novice cultivator, let alone a threat to him. After reaching the wall of the main hall, there was also a permutation calculation. Once the calculated numbers were engraved on the wall, the first door of the main hall would open, allowing them to enter the second level. This first level was too simple, and Ning Cheng estimated that only a few people could not pass it, therefore, he did not help. The first level of the rank 9 profound array immediately sent out many cultivators and once again landed on the Orchid Burrow public square. Ning Cheng easily stood on top of the second pass. The second pass was a barren canyon. Ning Cheng had just come in when a powerful force pushed against him. If one did not pay attention to this force, one would end up falling backwards. As long as one fell backwards, one would immediately be transported to the Orchid Borough Public Square. In addition to the force, there was also a stone stele at his feet, which also had some complicated patterns carved on it. With the experience from the first level, Ning Cheng understood that this stone stele was the correct way to deduce the second level. Under this powerful force, it was indeed difficult to use one's spiritual consciousness to infer the correct path. One could only use one's powerful spiritual consciousness to evolve it step by step and calculate the correct path. Under normal circumstances, as long as one had enough time, a celestial novice cultivator would be able to calculate the correct path. However, the longer one stayed in the same place, the longer one calculated the path, the greater the force. This gradually increasing force prevented any cultivator from using the time loopholes to calculate the correct path. Although Ning Cheng calculated the correct path, he did not move and continued to wait for Jing Wuming, Lanya, and Shi Yulan. Ning Cheng waited for a full hour before the three people appeared within the range of his spiritual consciousness, one after another, each appearing in a different canyon. As the force grew stronger and stronger around Ning Cheng, he did not let the three people deduce the correct path by themselves. He simply calculated the correct path for the three people and transmitted it to the three people using his spiritual consciousness. The Jing Wuming trio felt pleasantly surprised and even arrived at the third level before Ning Cheng. The third stage only had 6 steps, and each step had a pushing force. Moreover, the pushing force would be stronger with each step. However, Ning Cheng soon discovered that his spiritual consciousness could block a part of the thrust, which made it a lot easier for him to climb up the stairs. Walking on these steps was not only a test of one's celestial essence but also a test of one's spiritual consciousness. The stronger one's divine sense was, the smaller the force would be. If Ning Cheng had to pass through these 6 steps by himself, he would not have felt that it would be too strenuous for him. However, his spiritual consciousness could clearly sense that Jing Wuming and Shi Yulan could not hold on. Even Lanya was barely holding on. To guarantee a spot in the striking order Starry Skies, one had to pass this third level. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness immediately spread out, helping the three of them resist some of the pressure. At this moment, the pressure on him had increased by several times. If not for his powerful Starry Skies sea of consciousness, he would not have been able to hold on for so long. Ning Cheng walked up the steps very slowly. Although his spiritual consciousness was powerful, but in the case of helping Jing Wuming and the other two at the same time, each step was extremely strenuous. When the 4 of them passed through the 6th step and entered the 4th level, Ning Cheng felt a sharp pain in his sea of consciousness. By the time he recovered, his spiritual consciousness could no longer penetrate it. At this moment, he could only see the situation in front of him. Ning Cheng knew that Shi Yulan and the other 2 must have been sent out. As such, it should not be a problem for him to pass through the 4th level alone. However, he only had a celestial novice cultivation. If he showed too much, it would definitely attract attention. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng took a step back under the pressure. The next moment, Ning Cheng felt his body lighten as he was teleported out. Ning Cheng. Lanya was the first to arrive in front of Ning Cheng. Seeing Ning Cheng's pale face, she immediately understood what was going on. "Are you okay?" Jing Wuming also came over anxiously. If not for Ning Cheng's help, not to mention entering the 4th level, they would have found it difficult to pass the 2nd level. "What about our ranking?" Ning Cheng asked the first question. Shi Yulan's voice arrived, "We're in the top 100. Ning Cheng felt surprised. Wasn't this a bit too much? 4 people entered the top 50 at the same time. Seeing that Jing Wuming wanted to speak, he quickly spoke up, "Let's talk about it when we get back. Let's take a look at the others' matches." Jing Wuming immediately understood and quickly shut up. He, like Lanya and Shi Yulan, felt shocked by Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness. However, he also knew that this was not a good place to talk. Ning Cheng looked at the rankings on the array formation screen, and his heart slowly calmed down. In just a short time, the rankings of these people had fallen from the top 100 to a few hundred, and the rankings were still falling. Ning Cheng knew that this was because he had only cleared the stages for a short time. Moreover, his computing ability was something that few people could compare to. As more and more people were teleported to the public square, the rankings of Ning Cheng's group of 4 also continued to fall. "Hey, how come your ranking is so high?" Wan Mingshu, who just got teleported out, came to Ning Cheng's side and spoke up in amazement. She was even more shocked to see that the rankings of Ning Cheng's group of 4 were not far apart from each other. Moreover, none of them were low. Although the rankings of the 4 people were not as high as hers, it was still outrageous. Wan Mingshu did not continue to ask. She felt sure that this matter was not as simple as it seemed. Moreover, she vaguely felt that this matter should have something to do with Ning Cheng. If this was the case, was it a good thing, or a bad thing? This was the fastest selection method Ning Cheng had ever seen. More than 1 million people finished the selection process in just one day, and at the same time, the top 10,000 were selected. Among them, the cultivator ranked first was already close to the 7th stage, while the cultivator ranked 10,000 had just reached the 2nd step of the 3rd stage. The ranking of Ning Cheng's group of 4 stopped at around 3,000, while Wan Mingshu's ranking was around 500. Ning Cheng, on the other hand, felt relieved. Ranking in the top 3,000 and ranking in the top 100 were 2 completely different concepts. Among more than 1 million people, if one ranked in the top 100, it would be impossible not to notice. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King felt very happy. A celestial scryer cultivator approaching the 7th stage of the rank 9 profound array was a very remarkable thing. He stood up and spoke. "Next, I will be giving out the rewards to the top 10 of our Orchid Burrow Celestial River Division. First place, Helian Punghua." Although the top 1,000 of the Orchid Burrow Celestial River Division received a reward, only the top 10 could receive a personal reward from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. Ning Cheng also paid special attention to Helian Punghua. This cultivator looked very young, with a medium build and a slightly yellow complexion. However, this fellow almost entered the 7th stage. This result was definitely a powerful one. No wonder the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King felt so happy. The award ceremony lasted even longer than the tryouts. Although Wan Mingshu was in the top 500, she still received a reward. After the award ceremony, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King spoke up. 3 days later, the top 10,000 will gather at the Orchid Burrow Public Square. We will then head to the Manluan Starry Skies. This time, I will personally lead the team. Now you can go and buy some of the things you need. Ning Cheng said to the Lanya trio. Even if that celestial Lord Miao Pu had the courage, he would not dare to make a move against Lanya. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River's 10,000 participants were personally selected by the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King. If anyone dared to make a move against these 10,000 participants, it would be equivalent to courting death. Shi Yulan and Lanya knew that even if they asked Ning Cheng, they guessed that Ning Cheng would not say anything about it. As such, they simply did not ask anything and bid farewell to Ning Cheng before heading out to buy the things they needed. Although they had also signed up for the qualifiers, they had never thought that they would really be selected before this. Now that they were selected, they felt very excited in their hearts. Jing Wuming patted Ning Cheng's shoulder and was about to leave when he saw Ning Cheng's expression change. He immediately stopped. He did not ask Ning Cheng what was going on, nor did he continue to leave. A moment later, Ning Cheng sent a sound transmission to him. Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's Imperial Concubine Xian Yu sent me a sound transmission and asked me to meet her at the Revolving Jade Mountain tonight. What's going on? Hearing Ning Cheng's words, Jing Wuming's expression immediately changed. This was not a trivial matter. Regardless of the reason for Imperial Concubine Xian Yu inviting Ning Cheng, it definitely was not a good thing. Once the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King came to know about it, Ning Cheng would definitely be finished. Do you want to go? Jing Wuming looked at Ning Cheng and carefully asked with a sound transmission. Ning Cheng calmed down and tried to think about why Imperial concubine Xian Yu sent him a sound transmission. It did not make any sense at all. He did not know Imperial concubine Xian Yu at all. Moreover, she was a Celestial River King, while he had just advanced to the Celestial Novice realm. I have to go. If I don't go, then not to mention going to the Striking Order Starry Skies to participate in the tryouts, I wouldn't even be able to walk out of the Revolving Jade City alive. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath and slowly sent a sound transmission to Jing Wuming. Jing Wuming also tried to come up with a solution in his heart. However, after thinking about it for a while, he could not come up with a better idea and spoke up, I'll go with you. Seeing Ning Cheng hesitating, Jing Wuming spoke up in a firm voice, we are two brothers in this life. If we die, then we die. What's there to hesitate about? Let's go. Ning Cheng nodded, okay, let's go together. The Revolving Jade Mountain was one of the 3 mountains in the Revolving Jade City. The dust in the Revolving Jade City was worth an inch of gold, not to mention a tall mountain in a bustling place. However, the Revolving Jade Mountain ignored this rule because it was the place where Imperial concubine Xian Yu lived. Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming walked all the way to the Revolving Jade Palace at the top of the Revolving Jade Mountain without anyone stopping them. From this, one could tell that the people here had already received orders from Imperial concubine Xian Yu. The higher Ning Cheng went, the richer the Starry Skies Essence Qi became. The Starry Skies Essence Qi in this place was not only rich, but also gentle, without any traces of deliberate effort. It truly was a good place, Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming sighed in their hearts. Ning Cheng, you are just a little celestial novice cultivator, yet you have such courage. A crisp and pleasant female voice reached Ning Cheng's ears. Chapter 523. Senior, please punish me. Ning Cheng did not ask for the reason at all. Facing Imperial concubine Xian Yu, as long as the other party wanted to kill him, regardless of whether he was in the right or not, he would still die. At this moment, Ning Cheng's heart was filled with a thirst for power. Without strength, it would only lead to sorrow. One would not even have the chance to resist. If I wanted to punish you, you would already be a dead man. Come in. Imperial concubine Xian Yu's voice arrived, sounding even more pleasant to the ears. Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming cautiously walked into the palace, and a faint fragrance wafted over, giving people a comfortable feeling as if they were in a gentle dream. They could not wait to find a bed to lie down on, close their eyes, and not think about anything else. However, thinking that this place belonged to Imperial concubine Xian Yu, Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming no longer had such thoughts. The two of them passed through the palace, walked through a winding gravel road, and finally arrived in front of a very simple pink wooden house. Come in. Imperial concubine Xian Yu's voice turned soft, with a hint of irresistible temptation. Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming walked into the room. Jing Wuming did not dare to casually sweep out with his spiritual consciousness, but Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness immediately swept through the room. The room was not as luxurious as the outside, with only a simple wooden bed and a wardrobe, along with a small screen. The wooden bed was covered with a pink silk quilt, while a few pots of flowers were placed on the windowsill of the wooden house, looking very orderly. The smell inside the wooden house was simple and elegant, which instantly calmed people's restless hearts. Sit down. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had just fallen on a screen in the wooden house when Imperial concubine Xian Yu came out from behind the screen. This was the first time that Ning Cheng looked at Imperial concubine Xian Yu so closely. Her white oval face had a faint blush, and her pair of eyes seemed to be able to see through the hearts of others, making people not dare to look directly at her. A string of light-colored beads hung under her neck, and a faint fragrance seemed to emanate from below the beads. Her voluptuous chest declared that she was a perfect woman. After looking at this woman, the only feeling he got was that she was beautiful and mature. Jing Wuming only glanced at her before lowering his head, not daring to look again. Imperial concubine Xian Yu looked at Jing Wuming before looking at Ning Cheng. She then looked at Ning Cheng and spoke in a calm voice, "Do you know that I once wanted to refine the rank 9 profound array and turn it into my own weapon? It's just that after I refined the first part, I realized that this magic treasure was too weak for battle, so I gave up." When Ning Cheng heard these words, his heart sank. He instantly understood what was going on and why Imperial concubine Xian Yu called him over. Since Imperial concubine Xian Yu had refined a rank 9 profound array, it meant that she knew about his spiritual consciousness permeating the rank 9 profound array. No wonder she called him here. Your spiritual consciousness is quite amazing. Did you cultivate a spiritual consciousness cultivation method? Imperial concubine Xian Yu stared at Ning Cheng and asked again in a slow voice. Ning Cheng wanted to deny it. He did not have a spiritual consciousness cultivation method, so how could he cultivate it? However, just as the words were about to come out of his mouth, he swallowed them back down, and instead said, replying to Senior, "This junior indeed obtained an incomplete spiritual consciousness cultivation method, and then casually cultivated it." Imperial concubine Xian Yu giggled, "Casually cultivating it is already this powerful. If you cultivate it seriously, then wouldn't you be invincible?" Imperial concubine Xian Yu's words were only half spoken when she suddenly stopped. Her face also turned a little ugly to look at. She suddenly raised her hand, flipped open her bedboard, and spoke to Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming, "Hurry up and go in." Ning Cheng and Jing Wuming instantly knew that someone had arrived. Who else could make Imperial concubine Xian Yu tremble in fear, besides the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King? Jing Wuming did not think much about it and immediately jumped under the bedboard. He knew that even if he resisted, it would be useless. Ning Cheng, however, did not jump in. Instead, he opened a wardrobe and hid inside it. "Senior, I will hide in here." Imperial concubine Xian Yu felt anxious. Ning Cheng was simply courting death. Hiding in a wardrobe, even the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King could see through his aura, not to mention using his spiritual consciousness to sweep out. When her bedboard was flipped open, it turned out to be a powerful place to isolate spiritual consciousness. As long as the person hiding inside restrained their breathing, it would be fine. Unfortunately, she did not have the time to pull Ning Cheng out and throw him under the bed. At this moment, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's voice came from the door, "Beloved, I heard that you were a little tired and worried about you. Therefore, I came to see you." "Elder Brother Lon, I'm fine." Imperial concubine Xian Yu spoke as she stepped forward and took the arm of the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, who had just come in. Ning Cheng did not feel worried. He believed that with his ability to isolate all auras, as long as he hid here without moving, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King would not find him. Besides, he believed that since the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King doted on Imperial concubine Xian Yu, he would never use his spiritual consciousness to sweep through Imperial concubine Xian Yu's room. He could feel that the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's love for Imperial concubine Xian Yu had already seeped into his bones. This kind of love could not be faked. If the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King swept around with his spiritual consciousness the moment he entered the room, it would mean that the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King still had a gap with Imperial concubine Xian Yu and would never dote on her so deeply. Ning Cheng was not as honest as Jing Wuming. The reason why he did not want to hide under Imperial concubine Xian Yu's bed was because he feared that the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King and Imperial concubine Xian Yu would make love to each other on the bed. If this pair of man and woman did it on the bed, he would feel unlucky if he hid under the bed. It's just that Jing Wuming was too honest. Before he could speak, this fellow had already turned over. Ning Cheng instantly thought of a lot of things. The only thing he did not think of was that there was someone inside the cabinet. Moreover, when he came in and swept out with his spiritual consciousness, he did not find anyone. It was not until he entered the cabinet and pressed his hand against a soft mass that he realized that a woman was hiding inside. Moreover, his hand was pressing against this woman's chest. "It's over." Ning Cheng had just thought of 2 words when the woman's voice arrived in his ears: "Converge your aura, don't move." Knowing that this woman did not want to flip out, Ning Cheng felt slightly relieved and immediately converged all of his aura. He was just thinking about who this woman was, and whether Imperial concubine Xian Yu knew about her hiding in here, when he felt a faint barrier blocking his body. Ning Cheng understood that this woman did not have confidence in his concealment ability and helped him hide another layer of concealment. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept over this woman, but found that it was only a blur. Ning Cheng secretly felt shocked in his heart. What kind of concealment ability was this? Even when he was in front of her, he could not even use his spiritual consciousness to clearly see this woman's appearance. "Beloved." The Orchid Burrow King's tone was so gentle that it could melt steel. Imperial concubine Xian Yu's sleep-talking voice arrived, and Ning Cheng immediately heard the sound of the 2 hugging and kissing. The sound of clothes slowly unraveling, along with the moaning, grew louder and louder. Although there was no sound coming from Imperial concubine Xian Yu's bed, Ning Cheng could clearly hear the sounds of the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King and Imperial concubine Xian Yu rolling on the bed. Ning Cheng secretly felt lucky in his heart. Fortunately, he did not hide under the bed, otherwise, he would have died of bad luck. Wu Ming, this fellow, was just too honest. Whatever a woman wanted him to do, he would do. If he had known earlier, he would not have brought this fellow along. The ambiguous atmosphere in the room grew thicker and thicker. Ning Cheng suddenly felt the 2 soft spots on his back turn hard. He knew what was going on. He knew that this woman did not dare to use the mind-cleansing method in this place, lest the surrounding essence qi fluctuate, which affected her. "Don't." Imperial concubine Xian Yu's voice finally arrived, causing Ning Cheng to feel relieved. This woman still knew the gravity of the situation. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King looked at Imperial concubine Xian Yu in doubt and whispered, "Beloved, what's wrong with you?" "I just came back from the public square, covered in dust. I haven't cleaned myself yet. After I take a bath, I will accompany elder brother Lan." Imperial concubine Xian Yu's charming voice arrived. "No, I'm in a good mood. Why would I need a bath? A dirt removal method can solve all the problems. Beloved, let me pamper you." The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King spoke with a soft smile. Imperial concubine Xian Yu moaned again, and the 2 hugged each other and rolled on the bed again. Ning Cheng cursed in his heart. Can't you find such a simple excuse? If you want to be intimate, can't you wait until this master leaves? Poor Wu Ming is still suffering under the bed. Wait. Imperial concubine Xian Yu's voice came over again. What's wrong? Imperial concubine Xian Yu suddenly sat up and tidied up her messy dress. Elder brother Lan, although I also want to. But today is a great day for my Orchid Burrow Celestial River. Since so many geniuses have been selected, I feel really happy. We can't just do it casually. I think it's better to take a real bath, and at night we can. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King laughed. Yes, my beloved is really thoughtful. Come, my beloved, come with me to the royal palace, and at the same time take a bath in the royal palace. N. Imperial concubine Xian Yu gave a soft N sound before pulling the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's hand and walking out. After a few breaths, the woman behind Ning Cheng gave a snort. You can go out now. Imperial concubine Xian Yu will be back soon. I'll also be leaving. Ning Cheng quickly came out of the wardrobe. He did not care about who that woman was or why she was hiding here. These things had nothing to do with him. Ning Cheng immediately arrived at Imperial concubine Xian Yu's bed and touched it for a long time. He wanted to open the bed and release Jing Wuming. Unfortunately, even after searching for a long time, he still could not open it. You don't have to waste your efforts. This bed is a weapon of that imperial concubine Xian Yu. She refined it. Besides her, with your cultivation, you can forget about opening her bed. I advise you to leave as soon as possible. If imperial concubine Xian Yu wanted to kill you and your friends, she would have already killed them. Why would she wait until now? Therefore, after you leave, your friends would still be safe. The woman inside the wardrobe sent out another sound transmission. Ning Qing knew that the other party was not wrong. If he wanted to open the bed, he would have to refine it first. Moreover, he did not know how long it would take. Forcibly destroying the other party's bed, not to mention injuring Wu Ming, Ning Qing did not dare to do such a thing. At this moment, Jing Wuming's voice arrived. Xiaocheng, you should go back first. I should be fine. Moreover, it would be safer for me if you go back. Chapter 524. After Ning Qing returned to the bright just resting pen, Lanya and Shi Yulan had yet to return. Ning Qing felt worried about Jing Wuming and could only wait. After knowing the purpose of imperial concubine Xian Yu looking for him, Ning Qing understood that he had to come up with the cultivation method for cultivating his spiritual consciousness, otherwise, it would be difficult for him and Jing Wuming to escape. Therefore, after Ning Qing returned, he decided to wait for Jing Wuming while deducing the cultivation method for cultivating his spiritual consciousness. He was ready to deduce a rough spiritual consciousness cultivation method and hand it over to imperial concubine Xian Yu. As long as he arrived at striking order Starry Skies, things would become much easier. To Ning Qing's surprise, Jing Wuming returned to the bright just resting pen in less than a day. Not only did he come back, but he also looked to be in good condition. Jing Wuming did not return to his residence and went directly to Ning Qing's room. That Xian Yu didn't come with you and let you go so easily. Ning Qing looked at Jing Wuming in doubt. Jing Wuming's expression turned a bit awkward and only shook his head after a while. He looked a bit hesitant, not knowing what to say to Ning Qing. John Doe, what's the matter? Just say it. Ning Qing was not in the mood to play riddles with Jing Wuming. Brother Xiaocheng, I think I fell in love with Xian Yu. What? Even with Ning Qing's calmness, he still felt shocked by Jing Wuming's words. This fellow truly wanted to shock people to death with his words. Jing Wuming calmed down and spoke with certainty. I fell in love with Xian Yu, just like how I fell in love with Yulan. I thought that I could only be alone for the rest of my life, and that I would never like another woman, but I couldn't refuse Xian Yu. She let me know. Ning Qing interrupted Jing Wuming's words and spoke up in a deep voice. Wuming, you need to make things clear. You and Shi Yulan do not have any chance. You have to know who that Xian Yu is, the woman of a celestial river king. Besides, I don't want my brother to be the third party. Jing Wuming took in a deep breath and looked at Ning Qing with a serious expression before speaking. I like Yulan, but I know that it is absolutely impossible between us. Even if she was willing, my ancestors wouldn't allow me to be with her, not to mention that she wouldn't be with me, the son of her father's murderer. If we can't be together, then we can't be together. Let's put this matter aside. Tell me about Xian Yu. Ning Qing frowned. Imperial concubine Xian Yu was a woman of the celestial river king. What did Jing Wuming and a married woman mean? She asked me how I knew you, and where you came from. I didn't know what was going on, but I told her everything. I didn't even conceal the matter between me and Shi Yulan. After listening to me, she was silent for a long time. Then, she told me many things about her. Xian Yu was a pitiful woman. She did not have the kind of glory that she seemed to have on the surface. Moreover, I can never forget her. Although Jing Wuming's tone was slow, it was very firm. You slept with her. How could Ning Qing not understand what was going on? He had only returned for half a day, yet Jing Wuming and imperial concubine Xian Yu ended up on the same bed. Jing Wuming nodded. Her elder sister is called Lu Yu. Back then, Orchid Burrow Celestial River King liked her elder sister, Lu Yu. At that time, Lu Yu already had someone she loved. To avoid marrying the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, Lu Yu and her lover escaped from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River King vented his anger on Lu Yu's family. Fortunately, he saw Xian Yu and changed his target. Xian Yu married the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King to protect her family, without even half a shred of love. Ning Qing spoke up speechlessly, "You have to think about it. This is not a trivial matter. Once the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King learns about it, we would all die. I won't take any risks. Xian Yu told me that I still have to go to the Time Wilderness. When I come out of the Time Wilderness, she and I will secretly leave the Striking Order Starry Skies. If I can't come out of the Time Wilderness, she will have to leave the Striking Order Starry Skies alone. A few months ago, after her younger brother died, she no longer has a family." Jing Wuming spoke in a calm tone, but it was also very firm. Ning Qing stood up and patted Jing Wuming's shoulder. "You have to think about it carefully. Remember to tell Lanya and Shi Yulan about this. Otherwise, if you take away the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King's concubine, the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King would definitely fly into a rage. At that time, everyone who came in contact with you would be in danger." After sending Jing Wuming away, Ning Qing pondered for a long time. This matter, from the beginning to the end, felt a little strange. Imperial concubine Xian Yu was such an excellent woman, with a cultivation far higher than Jing Wuming's. Even if she looked down on the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King, why would she get involved with Jing Wuming, right? Although Jing Wuming was a good person, she should not have taken a liking to him. What was the purpose of this woman and Jing Wuming together? Was it really love at first sight? If one had to say that it was fake, then how could it be fake when she and Jing Wuming slept together? For a woman with cultivation at the level of Xian Yu, as long as she was not a slut, she would take this kind of thing very seriously. Perhaps Xian Yu really felt touched by Jing Wuming's infatuation with Shi Yulan and felt that this man was worthy of her love. Or maybe she wanted to leave the Orchid Burrow Celestial River and just happened to meet Jing Wuming. Ning Qing gave out a sigh. Whether it was true or not, the sooner he left the Orchid Burrow Celestial River, the better. 3 days later, a silver void airship left the Orchid Burrow public square. Like a distorted shadow, it rushed out of the Orchid Burrow Star. This was the airship from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River to the Manluan Starry Skies. It contained 10,000 participating cultivators, as well as countless cultivators who wanted to board the airship. The 10,000 selected cultivators did not need to pay for the airship, however, the cultivators who wanted to board the airship to the Manluan Starry Skies would have to pay a high airship fee. This was the first time that Ning Qing had boarded a top-grade Celestial River airship. However, this top-grade Celestial River airship, in addition to carrying people, also had the function of a top-grade Celestial River battleship. One could say that this airship was a Celestial River battleship. This airship looked just like a small city, with 5 floors above and below. At the bottom floor were some of the poorer cultivators. They had already taken out all their celestial coins to board the airship and had no extra money. As such, they could only live together on the bottom floor. On the top floor were some of the cultivators with high cultivation and status. Not only did they have their own residences, but they also had luxurious residences. The 4th and 3rd floors were the residences of some of the middle-level cultivators. There were also a variety of merchant houses, hotels, and other establishments. As long as one had the money, one could live a luxurious life on this void airship. The 2nd floor was also where the ordinary cultivators lived. It also contained some low-level merchant houses, but compared to the 3rd and 4th floors, the level of these merchant houses was much lower. Ning Qing and the other participating cultivators lived on the 2nd floor. Although the place was not very spacious, the top 5,000 to 1,000 cultivators each had a single room. As for the top 1,000 cultivators, they did not live on the second floor, but on the third floor. Since entering the void airship, Ning Cheng had not seen imperial concubine Xian Yu. However, from Jing Wuming's demeanor, he could tell that he and Xian Yu had made good progress. Ning Cheng did not ask Jing Wuming about this matter. He was not a person who liked to gossip. He only asked about it because he was worried. Shi Yulan and Lanya apparently got some information from Jing Wuming. After the two of them entered the airship, they did not come out of their rooms. Wuan Mingshu lived on the third floor and did not come down to look for Ning Cheng. After Ning Cheng walked around the merchant house on the airship, he returned to his room. From the revolving Jade City to the Striking Order Starry Skies main continent, Striking Order Starland, it would take a few months. During these few months, he could integrate his cultivation. Ning Cheng had gained a lot from the battle with Suo Xiaoya, however, he did not have the time to go into seclusion to sort out his gains. Now that he had half a year's time, he could use it to his advantage. The mysterious yellow formless might be the best cultivation method within the starry skies, but even if Ning Cheng knew about his shortcomings, it would not be a simple matter to integrate what he had learned. 3 months later, Ning Cheng's cultivation had steadily advanced to the middle stage celestial novice realm, however, he still could not find a way to attack his spiritual consciousness. Apart from the slight improvement in his cultivation, the only improvement he had made was the name of his most powerful spear intent, Traceless. This move was something he had comprehended from the projection of the everlasting Blue Thunder City. At that time, a powerful cultivator had used a purple long spear to kill a powerhouse capable of blasting apart a planet. After he saw it, he felt extremely shocked and gained a new understanding. He had also used this spear to kill many powerhouses. When this spear was brought out, without any warning, without leaving even half a trace, it could directly cut through space and kill the opponent. It was appropriate to call this move Traceless. By now, he had at least 2 powerful spear intents, the Nothingness Flame patterned spear and Traceless. On this day, Ning Cheng was still deducing the spiritual consciousness attack when he felt the entire room shaking. Was there an attack from a Starry Skies demonic beast? Ning Cheng immediately thought of Starry Skies demonic beasts. He had been in seclusion here for 3 or 4 months, and everything had remained stable. This top-grade void airship, if not a Starry Skies demonic beast, could not shake it under normal circumstances. Ning Cheng did not go out to take a look. In the face of this top-grade celestial river airship, coupled with an expert like a celestial river king, ordinary Starry Skies demonic beasts would not stand a chance. Besides, even if he went out, he would not be able to play much of a role. However, after an hour, the shaking not only did not weaken, but instead grew even stronger. Even the restrictions covering the room started to crack. Ning Cheng stood up. It looks like the Starry Skies demonic beasts were not simple. At this time, the restrictions covering the door also started to shake. Ning Cheng opened the restriction and saw Lanya and Shi Yulan standing anxiously at the door. He immediately asked, "What's going on? You really aren't in a hurry. Our airship suffered an endless siege from the Starry Skies spirit-devouring rat tide. More than half of the restrictions covering the hull broke, and even a heaven-seated expert died under the Starry Skies spirit-devouring rat tide. Everyone is fleeing in all directions, let's hurry up and escape." Lanya spoke up anxiously. What? Ning Cheng felt shocked in his heart, and at the same time, swept out with his spiritual consciousness. After entering the Starry Skies, Ning Cheng had learned about the Starry Skies demonic beasts, and was not unfamiliar with the Starry Skies spirit-devouring rat. This was a terrifying Starry Skies demonic beast. When there were many of these demonic beasts, they could even cover the entire range of one's spiritual consciousness. Once the Starry Skies spirit-devouring rats found their target, they would never feel fear and would swarm towards it. No matter what it was, as long as it contained spiritual qi, they would crazily rush up and bite it until they finished eating it. Moreover, the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats were highly toxic. Once bitten, one would definitely be poisoned. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, and when he saw the broken restrictions covering the airship and the endless Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats rushing towards them, his scalp turned numb. Chapter 525. Some of the cultivators who wanted to escape alone ended up trapped by the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats and disappeared without a trace in a short time. Some of the cultivators, after being bitten by the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats, started to twitch. But before they could get too deeply poisoned, the rest of the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats devoured them. Countless cultivators rushed to the deck in a frenzy, wanting to escape. However, as soon as these cultivators rushed up, they were trapped by the endless Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats. These Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats seemed endless. No matter how many you killed, the next moment, more Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats would fill in. Once trapped in such a terrifying situation, even a heaven-seated cultivator would find it hard to escape. Wu Ming. Ning Cheng remembered that Jing Wu Ming did not come with Lanya and quickly asked. "I'm fine." Jing Wu Ming's voice came over, his body still covered with some blood. These bloodstains definitely belonged to the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats. Jing Wu Ming only had a celestial shatterer cultivation, so how could he come out alive after killing the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rats? However, Ning Cheng quickly understood that Imperial concubine Xian Yu's figure had already appeared behind Jing Wu Ming. This woman truly protected Jing Wu Ming. This thought flashed through Ning Cheng's mind. "Sister Yu, I can't go alone." Jing Wu Ming turned around and called out anxiously. Imperial concubine Xian Yu's voice turned slightly hoarse. "Wu Ming, I can help you take away these two women. As for Ning Cheng, no matter what kind of friend you have with him, I can't take him away. From now on, I will only get close to you as a man. Taking away others would expose her privacy as a woman." Lanya and Shi Yulan were women, but Ning Cheng was a man. Therefore, she could not expose herself in front of him. "No, Xiao Cheng is my best friend. If he does not leave, then I would rather die here." Jing Wu Ming's voice was resolute and decisive. Obviously, he had already made a choice between Xian Yu and Ning Cheng. He chose to fight to the death with Ning Cheng rather than escape with Xian Yu. Imperial concubine Xian Yu turned silent. She remained silent for a short time before speaking up with a trembling voice. "If you must take him away, then let them come together. That person hasn't discovered me yet. You have to leave quickly. I have a way." Thank you." Jing Wu Ming walked over to the faintly discernible figure and held a pair of jade-like hands. Xian Yu gently rubbed Jing Wu Ming's hair and spoke, "There is no need for thanks between us. My whole person is yours. Whatever you want me to do, I will do it. Xiao Cheng, Senior Sister Lan, Senior Sister Shi." Jing Wu Ming had just called out the names of the three people when Ning Cheng interrupted Jing Wu Ming's words and spoke. "Wu Ming, since you have decided to be with Xian Yu, then you should respect her wishes. Your woman needs you to protect her. I have a way to escape, so you don't have to worry about me. If possible, let Senior Sister Lan and Junior Sister Yulan go with you." Lanya shook her head and spoke, "Ning Cheng and I will break out of this encirclement together. If we can escape, then I will leave. If we can't, then dying in the Starry Skies is my final destination." Shi Yulan also followed up, "Senior Apprentice Sister Lan and I have already agreed to become Starry Skies Wanderers. This is our beginning. Thank you, Nameless. You can go now. I hope that one day you can have what you want." Jing Wu Ming felt anxious in his heart. How can this be? This terrifying Starry Skies spirit-devouring rat tide can even devour experts in the heaven-seated realm. How can you get out? Nameless, I broke into the starry skies with my crucible transformation cultivation and experienced many things. I even ended up being chased by the void explosive golden wasps. I am still alive and well. You don't have to worry about me. Take care of yourself. In the future, when we reach the universe's starry skies, we will meet again. At that time, I will take you to meet elder brother Tsang Wei. Ning Cheng spoke with a smile. He thought that his void explosive golden wasps were about to hatch. In the future, he could take a large group of void explosive golden wasps and walk through the void or the starry skies. At that time, would any beast group dare to besiege him? Seeing Jing Wuming still hesitating, Ning Cheng added another sentence, "Don't be a sissy, let's go." After that, he looked at Xian Yu and spoke calmly, "Xian Yu, I don't care who you used to be, but Wuming is my brother. I wish you all the best. If one day I find out that you have let him down, no matter how big the starry skies are, no matter how vast the universe is, I can always find you." Xian Yu slowly spoke up to Ning Cheng, "You are indeed Wuming's friend. He did not misjudge you. Wuming, let's go. Lanya and Shi Yulan will not come with us." She was a sophisticated person and knew about the matters between Shi Yulan and Jing Wuming. She was sure that Shi Yulan would not come with her. Lanya would never leave Ning Cheng and Shi Yulan behind and go with her alone. Jing Wuming obviously understood the truth and spoke up to Ning Cheng, "Okay, I believe you can do it. Let's meet again in the future." His voice had not yet dissipated when the faintly discernible imperial concubine Xian Yu took him away and disappeared. "Ning Cheng, what should we do?" After Jing Wuming and Xian Yu left, Lanya looked at Ning Cheng and asked. At this time, the entire airship turned even more chaotic. A large number of starry skies spirit-devouring rats had already flooded into the void airship, causing the void airship to fall completely. All the cultivators there fell into a state of chaos. Every one of them wanted to charge out, but only a small number of them could actually charge out. The berserk starry skies spirit-devouring rats gave out terrifying teeth-baring sounds. These sounds were mixed with the sound of bones being chewed, which made people want to escape from this place even more. However, in all directions, there were layers upon layers of starry skies spirit-devouring rats, stretching out for countless miles. Even spiritual consciousness could not sweep out. At this moment, a deep voice arrived, "Everyone, listen up. The starry skies spirit-devouring rats in this place are not something we can resist. In a while, we will use our spirit techniques to clear a path through the starry skies spirit-devouring rat horde. Everyone can then escape according to their own destiny. If you can escape, then gather at Striking Order Star Land." After countless cultivators heard this voice, they immediately rushed over. For a time, even the starry skies spirit-devouring rats were forced to retreat. Ning Cheng still did not move. A 2 or 3 feet long starry skies spirit-devouring rat arrived at the place where Ning Cheng was staying. Lanya reacted quickly, and with a flash of her blade, she split the starry skies spirit-devouring rat in half. Shi Yulan also spoke up anxiously, "Senior apprentice brother Ning, let's hurry up and go up. Otherwise, staying here would only mean death." Ning Cheng calmly shook his head, "You're wrong. Going up would only mean courting death. There are many messy restrictions in this place. Even if some scattered starry skies spirit-devouring rats came in, they would not pose a threat to us. Once we go up, with the cultivation of the 3 of us, we would definitely die. Those who have the means to escape would have already used various means to escape. As for those who remain here, they are just like us, without any means to escape. That person said that he would help us clear a path, but I don't believe it." Speaking till here, Ning Cheng looked at Lanya and Shi Yulan. "I don't know about the Orchid Burrow Celestial River King situation, but I guess that he should have already left. Even my good partner Wan Mingshu should have already left by herself. Those who remain here have no means to escape." Shi Yulan spoke up with some uncertainty, senior apprentice sister Mingshu and you. Even if Shi Yulan did not finish her words, Ning Qing already knew what she meant. Shi Yulan wanted to say that Wan Mingshu was very good to him and would not leave alone. But now, Ning Qing felt sure that Wan Mingshu had already left. This further illustrated a problem, that is, Wan Mingshu's previous kindness to him was based on the fact that he could help her after entering the desolate domain. At this critical moment, how could Wan Mingshu even think of Ning Qing? Even if we die, we have to rush out. Staying here is safe for the time being. Once the starry sky's spirit-devouring rats rush in, we would die even more miserably. Lanya spoke with a calm voice, but her voice still trembled. There is another way. Ning Qing hesitated for a moment before speaking. What way? Lanya and Shi Yulan asked at the same time. I have a miniature world. You too can enter my miniature world, and I will try to rush out alone. However, once I fall, you will also not be able to survive. Ning Qing spoke the truth. His miniature world's laws were very low, and it did not contain any life. However, once it contained any life, once he fell, the miniature world would definitely collapse. Lanya immediately spoke up, Ning Qing, let's join forces. Maybe we might have a little chance. Ning Qing shook his head, there's no chance if we join forces. This is not a void collapse. This starry sky's spirit-devouring rat tide is much more dangerous than a void collapse. Lanya suddenly recalled the time when she had chased Ning Qing into the bright void gorge. At that time, Ning Qing was safe and sound, while she had almost lost her life. What was Ning Qing's cultivation at that time? Thinking of this, she said without hesitation, okay, I'm willing. Me too. Shi Yulan understood that in the face of such a horrifying starry sky's spirit-devouring rat tide, not to mention a celestial gatherer cultivator like her, even a heaven's mandate cultivator would find it difficult to escape. After Lanya and Shi Yulan entered the miniature world, Ning Qing immediately stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. In just a few flaps, he emerged from the bottom of the void airship and landed on the deck. The deck was littered with the corpses of the starry sky's spirit-devouring rats. At the same time, the starry sky's spirit-devouring rats were constantly devouring cultivators. Ning Qing was just a celestial novice cultivator, as such, he did not have the ability to change the situation. At this moment, he could only rush out of the flying ship like the other cultivators and enter the starry sky. In this place, any flight-type magical weapon, void battleships, or airships were useless. No matter how powerful a void airship was, under so many starry skies spirit-devouring rats, it would be eaten clean in an instant. The void airship under his feet was a perfect example. From this, one could imagine how many starry skies spirit-devouring rats the airship's radium light arrows, flowing sky cannons and space-locking lights had killed before these starry skies spirit-devouring rats swarmed onto the airship. Even so, the starry skies spirit-devouring rats still managed to tear through the airship's restrictions and rush into the airship. As soon as Ning Qing rushed into the starry skies, a terrifying fishy smell assaulted his nostrils, while the surrounding space also turned completely stagnant at this moment. With so many starry skies spirit-devouring rats, even without using any spiritual techniques or magical skills, the starry skies spirit-devouring rats had already occupied the surrounding starry skies. At this moment, any magical skills or spear intent would be meaningless. For Ning Qing, his spear intent had not reached the point where he could kill tens of thousands of starry skies spirit-devouring rats with just a single shot. At this moment, the only thing he could do was to constantly use the twin wings of the heavenly clouds to teleport and escape from this horrifying starry skies spirit-devouring rat tide. At the same time, he also had to look forward to not being targeted by the high-leveled starry skies spirit-devouring rats. Chapter 526. As soon as the twin wings of the heavenly clouds came to a stop, the endless starry skies spirit-devouring rats swarmed over, instantly filling up the space around Ning Cheng without leaving a single gap. Ning Cheng could be considered as someone who had seen a lot of big scenes. But with so many starry skies spirit-devouring rats crowding over, coupled with the ear-piercing grinding sounds, it still made his scalp tingle. Most of these starry skies spirit-devouring rats did not have high levels, with the lowest among them only equivalent to cultivators in the soul essence realm. However, some of the higher-ranked spirit-devouring rats had already surpassed the starry skies cultivators in the celestial scry realm. In such a dense space, not to mention about teleporting, even using the twin wings of the heavenly clouds would be difficult for Ning Cheng. His teleportation was made use of the instantaneous speed of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, not the true teleportation of the spatial transformation. If it was a true instant teleportation, he could ignore these starry skies spirit-devouring rats. But there was nothing he could do about it. Previously, there were gaps between the space spirit-devouring rats, but now, as soon as he landed in the starry sky, so many spirit-devouring rats swarmed over, trapping him in the blink of an eye. There was no gap, so how could he use his speed to rush out? Ning Cheng no longer hid his celestial river flame, and the celestial river flame turned into a flaming spear and shot out. The blinding purple color exploded around Ning Cheng, and the terrifying temperature instantly turned countless starry skies spirit-devouring rats into ashes. A gap then appeared in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, and once again landed in the middle of the starry skies spirit-devouring rats' encirclement. Ning Cheng decided not to take back his celestial river flame. The celestial river flame condensed into a long spear and shot towards the starry skies spirit-devouring rats. All kinds of ear-piercing screams and the aura of burning flames filled the surroundings. The starry skies spirit-devouring rat's fur was glossy and seemed to be extremely fire-attracting. Under the celestial river flames, it could not resist at all. The celestial river flame condensed into a long spear and quickly extended out like a sharp plow. A gap appeared in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng no longer brought out the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Instead, he crazily stimulated the celestial river flame and flew out along the path of the flame. Ning Cheng had no idea how many starry skies spirit-devouring rats he killed along the way. However, these starry skies spirit-devouring rats couldn't even count as a strand of hair when compared to the entire rat tide. The celestial river flame was indeed fierce, but if Ning Cheng used the celestial river flame like this, it would consume a lot of energy. In just half a day's time, Ning Cheng felt extremely tired. At this moment, he felt an incomparably powerful aura locking onto him. This was a high-level starry skies spirit-devouring rat, at least equivalent to someone in the celestial bridge realm. At this time, the starry skies spirit-devouring rats in front of Ning Cheng had already loosened up and were no longer as dense as before. Ning Cheng did not care about his exhaustion. Under the stimulation of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, he immediately left behind a faint afterimage, before he instantly disappeared. After activating the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, Ning Cheng found that he was still surrounded by a swarm of starry skies spirit-devouring rats, but it was a bit more sparse. At this time, there was only one thought in Ning Cheng's mind: escape. After the twin wings of the heavenly clouds upgraded to 4 pairs of glowing lights, the speed at which he could teleport was several times faster than before. Ning Cheng once again crazily wielded the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. After another half a day passed by, Ning Cheng could no longer wield it. At this moment, there was not a single starry skies spirit-devouring rat around him. At this moment, the powerful aura surrounding him had completely disappeared. Ning Cheng stopped and took a few deep breaths. He couldn't help but think that this starry skies beast tide was just too terrifying. Previously, Lanya and Shi Yulan had said that they wanted to become starry skies wanderers, which meant that they were putting their lives on the line to gain experience. However, everyone's path was their own choice, and he did not want to interfere with others. Ning Cheng then took out the knockoff Celestial River-class battleship and called out Lanya and Shi Yulan. Did they really escape? Lanya looked at the vast starry skies around them. Where was the last of the starry skies' spirit-devouring rats? Ning Cheng gave a weary reply, yes, they escaped. I'm going in to rest. This battleship has the coordinates of the striking order starry skies. Senior apprentice Sister Lan, you and junior apprentice Sister Yulan can help control it. Ning Cheng, you can go in and rest. Leave it to me. Lanya spoke with gratitude. This life-saving grace could not be expressed with just words. Ning Cheng entered the battleship's cabin to rest, while Lanya and Shi Yulan's hearts surged like a tide. The two controlled the Celestial River-class battleship for a few days, but could not calm down completely. Senior apprentice Sister Lan, what are you thinking about? Shi Yulan, on seeing Lanya's hesitant expression, finally could not help but ask. Lanya did not answer Shi Yulan's words. Instead, she looked at Shi Yulan and asked, Junior apprentice Sister Yulan, what are you thinking about? Shi Yulan lowered her head and shook her head after a long time, I don't know. Junior apprentice Sister Yulan, I don't want to go to the time wilderness. My cultivation is still too low. If I go in, I might end up dragging Ning Cheng down. I have already steeled my heart to become a starry skies wanderer. Once we get close to the Ran Chang star, I will say goodbye to Ning Cheng. Lanya looked at the distant starry skies outside the Celestial River-class battleship. Although her tone was gentle, it was also unusually calm. The Ran Chang star was a planet within the Manluan starry skies, close to the Manluan star land. Contrary to Lanya's expectations, Shi Yulan did not feel surprised. She also stared at the vast starry skies for a long time before speaking up, Senior apprentice Sister Lan, even if you did not say it, I was going to say it. Our cultivation and strength are too far apart compared to those powerful celestial scryer cultivators. Senior apprentice Brother Ning saved me several times, I can't rely on him for a lifetime. Lanya showed a slight smile, Junior apprentice Sister Yulan, should be the one saying those words. I was just about to tell you that after I leave, you should continue to stay by Ning Cheng's side. Shi Yulan showed a faint smile before shaking her head, Senior apprentice Sister Lan, I already have a man I like, and I can never forget his appearance. Every time I close my eyes, it feels as if I am leaning on him, and no one can replace him. Senior apprentice Brother Ning is a good person, however, he is not mine, and I can't be with him. Is it that starry skies wanderer? Lanya stared into Shi Yulan's eyes and asked. Shi Yulan's face showed a slight blush before she gave a gentle nod, yes, I like him. If I can be with him, wander the starry skies, depend on each other. Then I can give birth to a child for him, we can roam the starry skies together. As Shi Yulan spoke until here, her tone turned even softer, turning incomparably gentle. Her originally beautiful face, because of this gentle yearning, turned even more beautiful. Even Lanya felt a little stunned by this scene. Lanya held Shi Yulan's hand and looked at Shi Yulan before speaking, Junior apprentice Sister Yulan, I know that you already know that the starry skies wanderer is Ning Cheng. Ever since the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's 9-step Obscura Ray tournament, we all knew about it, however, we did not say it out loud. Now that I'm leaving, you should stay with Ning Cheng. He is not a heartless cultivator, you. Without waiting for Lanya to finish, Shi Yulan waved her hand and interrupted Lanya's words, Senior apprentice Sister Lan, I know. I do know that Senior apprentice Brother Ning is that starry skies wanderer, but he cannot replace the starry skies wanderer in my heart. He is Senior apprentice Brother Ning, which is different. Maybe you don't understand, but I understand it in my heart, I understand it very well. Lanya looked at Shi Yulan in a daze. She finally understood what was going on. Shi Yulan liked the starry skies wanderer in her heart, not the Ning Cheng standing in front of her. It was the longing in her heart, not the person she could find. I understand. Lanya put her arm around Shi Yulan's shoulder and spoke with difficulty. Shi Yulan burst into tears, but after a while, she still shook her head and spoke, Elder Sister Lanya, you don't understand. Lanya felt shocked in her heart. At this moment, she truly understood Shi Yulan's thoughts. She gave out a sigh and pulled Shi Yulan, who was still crying, into her arms and whispered, "Junior apprentice sister Yulan, come with me to the starry skies. We can find what we are looking for there." Shi Yulan's crying slowly stopped. She walked to the deck of the celestial river battleship and looked at the vast starry skies. Suddenly, she softly sang, "The vast starry skies, vines in the east, yellow birds, no mulberry trees in the middle, twinkling stars, I do not follow." The song spread out and permeated through the vast starry skies before leaving behind only a faint ending. Ning Cheng had already fully recovered. His starry skies sea of consciousness was extremely powerful, allowing him to use the twin wings of the heavenly clouds to teleport at such a high intensity. Just as he was about to come out, he heard Shi Yulan's voice. He immediately stopped. Shi Yulan's voice had seeped into his bones. Even Ning Cheng had to admit that he had never heard such a beautiful voice before. However, the meaning of the lyrics was slightly melancholic. Roughly speaking, in the vast starry skies, I'm like a vine without roots, spreading through the starry skies without any direction. Also like a tired oriole crying in the starry skies, unable to find a mulberry tree to perch on. A star starts to shine in the starry skies, but I know that it is not the place I want to go. Chapter 527. When Ning Cheng came out, Shi Yulan's song suddenly stopped and she spoke up with a surprised expression, "Senior apprentice brother Ning, have you fully recovered?" Ning Cheng showed a smile, "Yes, it's just that my spiritual consciousness is a little tired. Let me control the battleship now. We should not be too far from striking Order Star Land. Yes, even at our current speed, we can reach striking Order Star Land in at most 2 months." Lanya also stood up and spoke with a smile. After that, she thought about it and added, "But we are already very close to the Ran Chang Star. It would only take us a few days to reach there. Since we are not going to the Ran Chang Star, we don't have to worry about it." Ning Cheng chuckled. Lanya did not smile. She looked at Ning Cheng and spoke, "Ning Cheng, junior apprentice sister Yulan and I have decided to leave this place and head to the Ran Chang Star. From now on, we will be starry skies wanderers." Ning Cheng's smile froze for a while before he spoke, "Are you serious? Are you not going to the time wilderness?" "Senior apprentice brother Ning, we have already thought about it. We just waited for you to come out and tell you." Shi Yulan's voice arrived. At this moment, her face no longer showed any abnormalities. Lanya sighed, "Ning Cheng, with our cultivation, what can we do in the time wilderness? Even if we could walk together with you, we would only be dragging you down. As starry skies cultivators, we can't always rely on you. Originally, Yulan and I planned to leave after coming out of the time wilderness. But after the rat tide, we decided to leave now. After we leave, please take care of yourself." Ning Cheng could see that Lanya and Shi Yulan had already made up their minds, causing him to sigh in his heart. Although he wanted Shi Yulan and Lanya to follow him into the time wilderness, Lanya's words also made sense. After entering the time wilderness, they might not necessarily be together. With Lanya and Shi Yulan's cultivation, entering the time wilderness would indeed be extremely dangerous. Lanya and Shi Yulan were not Ji Luofei and Shi Qianghua. They had nothing to do with him. He had no right to ask them to do anything. A starry skies cultivator should have their own decisions and their own paths. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng took out a ring and handed it to Lanya, "Senior apprentice sister Lan, there are 2 billion green coins inside. It also contains a good battleship. You can have it." Lanya put away the ring and smiled, "I know you're rich, so I won't be polite." Ning Cheng then took out a jade box and handed it to Shi Yulan, "Junior apprentice sister Yulan, let bygones be bygones. I hope that we can meet again in the future. This is for you, maybe it can help you a little." Shi Yulan took the jade box and looked at Ning Cheng for a while before taking out a veil and putting it on before speaking, "Senior apprentice brother Ning, take care." As for Ning Cheng saying that he hoped that they would meet again in the future, Shi Yulan did not say anything. She knew that they would never meet again in the future. The vast starry sky was boundless. Not to mention that they were just celestial scryer cultivators. Even if they were starry sky emperors, the chances of them meeting each other in the vast starry skies was extremely slim. Moreover, after entering the starry sky and becoming a starry sky wanderer, they didn't know if they would still be alive the next day. Watching Lanya and Shi Yulan control the battleship and leave, Ning Cheng felt quite melancholic in his heart. He didn't have many friends in the starry sky, and these few friends had all left due to various reasons. If not for the rat tide, the four of them could have entered the time wilderness. But now, out of the four of them, he was the only one left. As Lanya and Shi Yulan sat inside the battleship, Ning Cheng's farewell song resounded in their ears, "The cliff of the heavens, the edge of the earth, half of my friends are gone. Life is a rare gathering, only parting." As Lanya and Shi Yulan listened to Ning Cheng's farewell song, they suddenly felt a surge of sadness in their hearts. In just a short time, Ning Cheng's song disappeared, and Ning Cheng's battleship also disappeared from their spiritual consciousness. The sadness of parting would eventually pass. At this moment, Ning Cheng was sitting on the deck of the Celestial River battleship in a pleasant surprise. At the same time, the sadness of parting disappeared without a trace. In the palm of his hand stood the void explosive golden wasp king that had just hatched. His void explosive golden wasp had finally hatched. Although it was still in its infancy, its body was already half a foot long. This explosive golden wasp king had a pale yellow body and a pair of wings so thin that they were almost invisible. The explosive golden wasp king jumped from Ning Cheng's palm to Ning Cheng's shoulder, and then from his shoulder to the deck. Its emotions revealed its dependence on Ning Cheng. Ha! Ning Cheng laughed. He finally had his own starry skies companion beast. He was already fantasizing about the future when he wielded the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and walked through the vast starry skies, only to suddenly encounter an endless starry skies beast tide. Then, with a wave of his hand, more terrifying explosive golden wasps swarmed up. He just had to stand on the side and watch the beast tide turn into ashes in front of the explosive golden wasps. Explosive golden wasps were void demonic beasts that needed to absorb the starry sky's essence chi. Therefore, it was not difficult to raise a swarm of void explosive golden wasps. However, it was extremely difficult to raise this swarm of void explosive golden wasps into a high-grade wasp swarm. Ning Cheng thought about the endless cultivation resources that would become food for the exploding golden wasps, causing his happy mood to sink. Poor, when could he get rid of this destitute situation? After Jing Wuming left, Lanya and Shi Yulan also left. Now that Ning Cheng had the explosive golden wasp king, he finally had one more person to communicate with. Ning Cheng communicated with the explosive golden wasp king along the way, allowing time to pass by quickly. He also gave his void explosive golden wasp king a name, Graceful Star. The reason for this name was to reminisce about the Graceful Star mainland. In less than 2 months, a huge planet appeared within Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness. This planet did not even have a regular circular shape and looked more like a floating continent from afar. The universe's starry skies truly was a wondrous place. It even had this kind of floating starland. Ning Cheng put away the explosive golden wasp king and controlled the Celestial River-class battleship to arrive outside this huge starland. Arriving here, Ning Cheng could clearly see that this starland was dozens of times bigger compared to the Orchid Burrow star. Just like entering other planets, one needed to apply for an identity jade card before entering. At the identity card processing office outside the starland, one could see a few huge characters suspended in the starry skies, striking Order Starland. Ning Cheng's knockoff Celestial River-class battleship parked next to the many real Celestial River-class battleships, looking extremely shabby. In this place, Ning Cheng truly saw what it meant by experts as common as clouds. Any random cultivator in this place would have a few celestial wheels suspended behind them. But cultivators like Ning Cheng, who did not even have a single celestial wheel, were truly hard to find. "What can I do for you?" Ning Cheng had just walked to a window when a crisp and pleasant voice rang out in Ning Cheng's ears. A very pleasant and pretty female cultivator looked at Ning Cheng with a smile and a very kind attitude. "Hello, I'm from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's revolving Jade City." Hearing Ning Cheng's words, the pretty female cultivator asked in surprise, "The Orchid Burrow Celestial River's battleship encountered a Starry Skies spirit-devouring rat tide midway, resulting in countless deaths and injuries. She was surprised that Ning Cheng could escape from the spirit-devouring rat tide with such a low cultivation. The pretty female cultivator quickly felt that her words were a little impolite and quickly spoke up, "Then I must congratulate you for escaping from the spirit-devouring rat tide and arriving at the Striking Order Starland. The Striking Order Starland welcomes you. If you are a cultivator participating in the Time Wilderness, you can directly enter the Striking Order Starland with your participation Jade card. There is no need to apply for another identity Jade card. Many thanks, Senior Apprentice Sister." Ning Cheng felt overjoyed on hearing these words. Seeing Ning Cheng turn around to leave, the pretty female cultivator quickly called out to Ning Cheng, "Please wait a little longer. You still have to record your participation Jade card for me." Ning Cheng took out his participation Jade card and handed it over. After the pretty female cultivator's spiritual consciousness swept through the Jade card, she looked at Ning Cheng and spoke with a smile, "Are you Ning Cheng?" "Yes, what's wrong?" Ning Cheng looked at this female cultivator with a puzzled expression. He had just arrived at the Striking Order Starland, as such, no one should have recognized him. The pretty female cultivator quickly spoke up, "It's nothing. A fairy named Ruan Mingshu left a message here. She said that if you came here, please go to the Striking Order Starland's Eternal Peace Resting Pen in the Lucky Heaven City to find her." After saying that, she handed the participation Jade card to Ning Cheng once again. After Ning Cheng thanked her, he couldn't help but think in his heart that this woman had already arrived at the Striking Order Starland. Most likely, her message was a random act. Ning Cheng guessed that she had never thought that he would survive to reach the Striking Order Starland. Although Wan Mingshu escaped alone without even saying a word, Ning Cheng did not feel surprised, nor did he feel any anger. If it were Jing Wuming or Lanya who escaped without saying a word, he would have felt a little sad in his heart. However, he did not feel anything towards Ruan Mingshu. He and the Ruan clan only had a cooperative relationship, there was no friendship between them. Although Ning Cheng did not plan to stay at the Eternal Peace Resting Pen, he still wanted to take a look at Ruan Mingshu's invitation. After all, he still owed her a Grade 4 Celestial River Array disc. Moreover, he also wanted to ask Ruan Mingshu about how to enter the Time Wilderness. Lucky Heaven City was the main city of the Striking Order Starland. He heard that the Starry Sky Emperor of the Striking Order Starry Sky lived here. After Ning Cheng entered the Lucky Heaven City, he immediately felt that this place was completely different from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River's main city, the revolving Jade City. As the main city of the Striking Order Starry Sky, the Lucky Heaven City had an extremely spacious area. Even if there were many cultivators coming and going in the city, the Lucky Heaven City would not feel crowded. What Ning Cheng worried about the most was that this place was the main city of the Striking Order Starry Sky, which would soon host the Striking Order Starry Sky's Celestial Scryer Genius tryouts. However, after entering the spacious city with rich Starry Sky essence chi, Ning Cheng realized that his worries were unnecessary. Although there were a lot of cultivators in this place, there were also a lot of places to stay. Ning Cheng easily found a place called Celestial Rainbow Rest Pen. Ning Cheng did not immediately check into the rest pen. Instead, he purchased a jade strip with a map of the Lucky Heaven City. After finding the location of the Eternal Peace Rest Pen on the map, he then headed towards the Eternal Peace Rest Pen. When he arrived at the Eternal Peace Rest Pen, Ning Cheng did not have the time to ask the staff of the rest pen which room Wan Mingshu was staying in when he saw Wan Mingshu and a handsome male cultivator walking out while talking and laughing. Junior apprentice Sister Mingshu, what a coincidence. Ning Cheng called out with a smile. Wan Mingshu, on seeing Ning Cheng standing at the door of the rest pen, suddenly changed her expression before revealing a pleasant surprise. Senior apprentice brother Ning, you. Ning Cheng acted as if he did not see the person beside Wan Mingshu and still spoke with a smile. By the way, junior apprentice Sister Mingshu, are we still staying in the same room? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure, oh.